Welcome into Wilmington Wildcats Weekly here on the Custer Internet Sports Network, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company. A big thank you to Breezer for sponsoring Wilmington Wildcats Weekly each and every week throughout the 2014 campaign. Back at home tonight for what seems like the first time in a couple of months, as the Cats at 3-0 back at home to take on their rival Reed Custer Comets, who come into this game at 0-3. Back at Becker Field, it feels nice to be back where everything kind of gets started here, and hopefully the Wildcats will come out with guns blazing tonight. Last week it was a little rough. The first half last week.
Oh, I think that's probably, we were talking about that before. That is probably one of the least effective halves we've seen them play in women's football in the last 9 or 10 years. And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
they just weren't hitting.
It was weird. You had a rain all over the place. You had wind. It was cold. It was kind of weird. There was a few fumbles and some odd things that happened, and just one thing led to another, and
that touchdown right before half just seemed to click it the opposite direction, and they came out the second half, and man, they came out loaded for bear. Wow.
So the Comets on the road tonight to take on the Wilmington Wildcats, game number 2 in the small division conference for Wilmington. They went up to Lisle last week, got a 34-3 victory against the Lions. That moved Wilmington to 3-0 on the year and 1-0 in the conference. That conference schedule continues tonight against Reed Custer. Now the Comets at 0-3 coming into tonight's game, but it's a little bit of a different look from Reed Custer. They're going with a double wing on their own, and they're also running kind of a triple option offense out of the double wing, kind of like what you'd see if you watch Army, Navy, one of those service academies. Yeah, that's what you're going to get here tonight.
We kind of like watching them.
I do.
You don't see it very often.
I do.
And I enjoy that.
When it's run well, it's very difficult to defend. And we'll see what Reed Custer does tonight. Now, they're 0-3, but they've been in every game this year. The biggest margin of defeat that they had was 25-6 to a very good Manteno team. Manteno very well could be the best team in the I-8, and we'll find that out at the end of the year, I think, between Wilmington and Manteno.
Yes.
But very well could be, and there definitely are, one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the I-8. Reed Custer hung around with them. They were beating Coal City earlier this year, ended up losing by 2 touchdowns to the Kohlers. They ended up losing 14-12 to Seneca last week, so they were in that game and probably should have won it by all rights. So we're dealing with a much different Reed Custer team this year, and it'll be interesting to see kind of what they do offensively, led by Mason Dransfeld, the senior at quarterback who played wide receiver last year. He moved over to quarterback this year, and now they're running that option-style attack. So it'll be interesting not only to see how Reed Custer handles that, but how Wilmington defends it. You know, more times than not now in the I-8, it's people spreading the ball out and throwing it all over the place, and Reed Custer kind of going throwback a little bit and playing a run-style offense. And for Wilmington, you don't see that a whole lot anymore. Now, Lisle did it last week, and you'll see it tonight. And then next week when we go to Westmont, you'll see the wide-open passing attack again. And you never know week to week in the I-8. You see just about everything.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing the triple option run here and seeing how Wilmington adjusts to it, because it's something they're not used to playing against at all. That's going to be quite a deal. People say, you come in tonight and Reed Custer's 0-3, what's the big deal? It's like the same as every other year. But this time, every game they've played, they've been in, and they've played well with a chance to win. Last week, they probably should have won that game. So they're coming in with a little bit more confidence than they've had in years gone by. We'll see what Wilmington can do to jar that confidence a little bit.
Well, the Cats back at home tonight. We still have not started the clock as far as pregame goes, although the JV did win 48-14 tonight over Reed Custer. The Wildcats with an easy win. They got up by 40 points, and the clock rolled for almost the entire second half. So it was interesting to see Wilmington kind of handle that option attack from Reed Custer in the JV level. We'll see how they do on the varsity level here in just a few minutes. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll talk to the head coach of the Wilmington Wildcats, Mr. Jeff Reins, get his thoughts about last week's game and, of course, what's going on tonight here between Wilmington and Reed Custer. And we have some different news as far as who's going to play tonight. Honestly, we don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just being completely honest here. I'm not sure we know who's going to take the field tonight, and we're just going to have to wait and see. I know there's two or three players for Wilmington that are out either for injury or otherwise, and there's a handful that we don't know if they're going to play or not going to play. And Coach Reins will talk about that here in a few minutes about where all that fits in and kind of how they're going to have to switch some things around tonight. Because of a variety of different issues, Wilmington's going to be shorthanded in a few spots. The one nice thing, though, is the fresh soft team and some of the guys who were second string on Wilmington have gotten some play time here early with some of the games, especially into the fourth quarter. So some of the guys have seen some action this year, so it won't be just like they're throwing them out there.
And we're not used to having quite this many injury problems, especially this early in the year. That was a tough game last week. It was played in bad conditions, and we came around with a few nicks and bruises and cuts, and so we'll have to see what they can do. But
yeah, I don't think there's anything, at least not at the moment, that's serious. I mean, that's something that, could end the season or be out for 5 or 6 weeks. I don't think we're talking about any of that tonight. A lot of it's just the flu bug. Wilmington's been hit hard with the flu, and some guys have been out most of the week for practice and might be back tonight, so who knows. But everybody's kind of dealing with the same issue. Lyle had their best running back missing last week because of an injury. Everybody's got those problems. So you just have to,
play through them.
Like the NFL says, next man up, and who's
That's right.
Who's next in line, they have to step up and get the job done.
That's why they call it a team sport.
That's right. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll kind of catch you up on what happened last week around the area, especially in the I-8, and we'll preview what's going on this week in the I-8. Some very interesting games from around the area. We'll go through all of that for you, and in just a little bit, we'll have our interview with Coach Reins as well. You're listening to Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company here on the Christian Internet Sports Network. Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 30 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com, or call 815-521-0900. Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria in downtown Coal City is an authentic Italian restaurant that's all about sharing great food in a relaxing atmosphere. Ricchetti's has delicious paninis, sandwiches, calzones, salad, pasta, and of course their incredible pizza. Plus you can check out a game on one of their many TVs, and they have Wi-Fi too. Stop by Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria today at 375 South Broadway in Coal City. ACN Representative Pete Treby has a very simple way for you to save money on your monthly bills. All you have to do is go to Pete's website and fill out the free analysis form. Then Pete will show you a detailed way to save money on everything: wireless, satellite TV, high-speed internet, local and long distance, computer support, and coming soon, save money on energy. Go to the sponsors page on this website, click on ACN Representative Pete Treby's link, fill out the free analysis form, and start saving money today. This is Wilmington Wildcats Weekly here on the Christian Internet Sports Network, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company. A big thank you to Breezer for once again stepping up and sponsoring the pregame show. And a big thank you to everybody over there at Breezer Construction Company for their continued support of sports here on the Christian Internet Sports Network. So we're just about 17 minutes or so away from kickoff here tonight between Reed Custer and Wilmington. We'll get to our interview with Coach Reins here in just a few minutes. First things first, though, talk a little bit about what happened last week and then what's going on this week in the I-8 and around the area. First of all, last week, just some scores from the Interstate 8 first. Seneca, a 14-12 winner over Braidwood. So the Comets coming off a 2-point loss to Seneca, and by all rights, a game that Braidwood could have very easily won, and the Comets came out on the short end of the stick. But Seneca's a pretty good team the last number of years. They're undefeated at 3-0 this year, so Reed Custer making a very good showing against the Fighting Irish last week, trying to build on that going into week 4 here against Wilmington.
Yeah, we usually count on Seneca as being a fairly tough team from year to year. This time they played them very well. Now, Seneca's not had a hard schedule so far this year, but still, they've come in here 3-0.
And around the area, Coal City a 13-0 winner over Piatone last week. Also, Herscher 36-20 over Westmont. So interesting to see Westmont kind of hang around against Herscher last week, just losing by 16 to the Tigers. Of course, that was a small division game because Herscher dropped down when Streeter joined the conference as a large school team. And one of the more interesting games of the week last week, Manteno a 12-7 winner over Plano. So Manteno continues to look good here early. Now they got a returning quarterback who threw for, I think it was 1,700 yards or something last year. He's back and playing for Manteno. And, you know, you hate to skip ahead if you're looking at the schedule, but that Wilmington-Manteno game in Week 9, that's looking pretty good at the moment. So Manteno a 12-7 winner over Plano. And also Streeter a 45-26 winner over Sandwich. So Streeter new to the conference. 19-point win for Streeter over Sandwich last week. And, of course, Sandwich down a little bit, and they've gone to the spread offense.
So for them,
Streeter, a much bigger school, by the way, much bigger than anybody else in the I-8. I think they're about 1,200 students or so. Sandwich is the next biggest at 900. And then it drops off. No, excuse me, I had that wrong. Streeter's at about 950 students or so. Sandwich is a school that's around 700. Wilmington's actually at about 450. So Streeter will be about double the size of Wilmington when they play them in a few years. Also, some other schools are scores from around the area. Morris, a 27-0 winner over Dundee Crown. So good game for the Redskins last week.
Yeah, they've had a rough season. They played some tough customers up to now. And good to see him come back and get a victory.
Dwight seems to be doing much better this season. Watsika, a 14-7 winner over the Trojans. So Dwight has been in every game so far this year, and they already have a win.
That's good to see.
St. Rita, a 21-0 winner over Montini. And Stillman Valley, 7-0 over Winnebago. I want to talk about a low-scoring game, 7-0. So that's some scores from around the area and around 3A in the state. Now, this week in the Interstate 8, the upcoming schedule for tonight, Lyle at 1-2 plays at Westmont tonight. They're also 1-2. It's kind of a rivalry game. They play for some plaque thing, like the old Plank Trophy or something.
Really?
That's something that Westmont and Lyle started, I think, like 10 years ago. So that's going on tonight. Should be a pretty good game there. Manteno at 3-0 taking on 1-2 Streeter, which could be the game of the night. Because Streeter played much bigger opponents in week 1 and 2, which got them their 2 losses. They're much better than the 1-2 record indicates. That's going to be a really good game tonight. Be interested to see how Manteno handles Streeter at Streeter too.
Were you kind of amazed that Streeter would come into this conference being so much bigger than the other ones?
No, because I think they look at it like this. They were struggling, kind of like Dwight. They were struggling winning 1 or 2 games a year. They know if they come to the Interstate 8, they're the big dog in a small puddle. So they can come here, maybe push around some people, get some wins, get into the playoffs a few years. I think they look at it as a way to kind of flip their record around so that they can make the playoffs for a few years, which they will be able to do. The problem is it doesn't really help them very much because when they get to the playoffs, they're going to be playing bigger competition.
Because they got to play people their size.
I don't know. In any case, Streeter filled out that empty spot in the I-8 when Dwight left to go to the Sangamon Valley. So they play Manteno tonight. Also, Herscher at 2-1 and another really good game plays at Seneca tonight, who's 3-0. So the Irish back at home at 3-0, taking on 2-1 Herscher. Coal City at 2-1 will play at Plano tonight. Plano's 1-2. That could be another really good game up in Reaper Land. And Piatone at 0-3 hosts Sandwich at 0-3 in the battle of a couple of teams who have had a rough beginning to the season.
It's kind of unusual to see Plano starting off with a losing record, 1-2. They start off a pretty hard part of the schedule too, so we'll see how they do tonight. That's a good test for them.
All right, we'll take our second break of the night. When we come back, we'll talk to head coach Jeff Raines. Got his interview all set and ready to go. You're listening to Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company right here on the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours, here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG tech.com.
Teresa's Styling Salon in Wilmington is a casual, family-friendly salon that caters to people of all ages. Teresa's provides everything from haircuts to perms to manicures, and they can highlight or color your hair for that special look. Teresa's is located in the Southgate Plaza on Water Street in Wilmington. Call today for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955.
And welcome back to our Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company, joined once again by head coach Jeff Raints. And Coach, weather-wise, a little bit rough again last week, and kind of a slow start, but once things started rolling in the second half, you guys come out on top and get the third win of the year.
Yeah, the kids did a nice job again. And, John, we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, just haven't come out the way we wanted to, and we did it again this past weekend. And I don't know if it was just coming off the Coal City game or the weather or playing in Lyle. We talked about all that last week. But we did. We turned the ball over a little bit, and some of it's due to weather. And I was real happy with our defense. I thought they played really solid all game. And then sure enough, once our offense got going, our kids settled down a little bit. We were able to do some really good things, and we were able to run the ball well. And nice to get a score there right before the half to make it 7-3, and then able to get the win 34-3. But a good team effort. I'm real happy with the kids. Happy to be 3-0, but like anything, we got to do a little better on specials. And boy, we need to start off the game better. And so those are the things we're concentrating going into this week.
Well, and it seemed like not only the rain and kind of a little bit of a slow start, but it seemed like the wind, especially in the first half, was a much bigger factor than anybody was anticipating. The first couple punts were a little rough into the rain and wind, and then they turned it around and got a field goal. And it seemed like the second half, even though it was a little bit of breeze out there, it didn't seem like it was quite as big as a factor as it was in the first and second quarters.
You know, John, I totally agree with you. And if you talk to any football coach, as far as how weather affects a game, wind is the number one. I mean, rain, if it's just like we dealt with, a drizzle or a steady downpour, okay, you can kind of deal with that. You know how to handle that. But when it comes to wind and you're not quite sure where it's going to go, now you start talking, are we going to kick this way, not kick this way? When do we want to win, not want to win? And that you're exactly right. The beginning of the game was definitely a bigger factor than the end of the game.
Well, and you had not only rain and wind and all that stuff, but then you had an unusually long halftime, which it seemed like we were saying they're going, is this going to end at some point? I mean, it's pouring down rain, and we're doing an entire orchestral concert in the middle of the field. And, was that something you guys were prepared for? Because I know for us, it just seemed like it kept going and kept going and kept going.
Well, we decided right away to stay outside at halftime, even in the drizzle. And, and then we were questioning ourselves as long as halftime went. And their AD came up to me and said it was going to be a little longer. And it's one of those situations where a community POM team got involved, and their exercise went way longer than it should have. And then you got to go through the rest of the halftime. And we weren't happy with it, but by the same token, do I understand how things like that happen? Sure.
Right.
And now, granted, I'd probably be whistling a different tune if we didn't play well the second half. And John, we used a little extra time to make some adjustments also, and so we've tried to use it to the best of our ability there.
All right, so you get done with week 3. It's been gone for what seems like forever. I think back home for Reed Custer, and again, one of those games that you really don't have to get the kids too up for like you do with Lyle. Reed Custer coming in on a night which, knock on wood, supposed to be pretty nice, but we know how that goes. And a whole new system. We went from straight up run a few years ago to they spread out and pass the ball all over the place to now back to a run game. And What does that like to look, or at least I should say look like on film for you here over the last week or so?
Well, we showed it the other night at Catbackers. They got a real good quarterback, last name of Dransfeld, good athlete. And, boy, we talked about playing assignment football the last couple of weeks. You really got to do it this weekend. And they do a good job. And like I was telling the guys at Catbackers the other night, every game they've had 2 or 3 plays of over 50 yards. And, anybody that follows football, it's that Army-Navy option attack. And so you got to do a good job up front. And then they're going to give us some different blitzes and things up front from their defense to our offense. And I think for us, it's more crucial than ever that we come out strong, and if we can get on top of them, because they have struggled a little bit with their record being 0-3, and we want to make sure we get on top of them early and maybe do some good things there. But when it's Braywood and Wilmington, we've had some really good games in the past, and you could throw the records out, and they're going to come in here fired up. And another stat I didn't say to Catbackers the other night. They've had 3 straight home games. This will be their first road game, and so and we're happy to be home. So we're hoping we can have a little magic at our place to come out and make that 4th game work well for us.
We saw that at the beginning of the year, looking at the schedule, seeing 3 straight home games. I can't remember a team having 3 straight home games.
No, I didn't put it together until Sunday. When we have our meetings as coaches, holy cow, they haven't had an away game yet. So this will be their first away game, and but by the same token, they're coming 5 miles down the road. So, but we are. Don't get me wrong. We're glad to be home, and you don't see that too often. You see 2 in a row. Rarely do you see 3 in a row.
An injury bug this week. I know it kind of anytime you get rain, wind, cold, it seems like you get a few little nicks and scrapes here and there. Anything too significant come Friday?
Well, we're battling it right now. We the Gavin Hawks kid was out a couple days. Angelo Castaneri was out 2 days this week, and we had a few kids tonight at practice that were battling the flu bug, and so the biggest part of Friday is going to be who can get to school and be at school, and if they can't go, they can't go, and then you got to move on. Mason Del Angel, we're still waiting to get cleared about a slight concussion, so we want to take we don't want to take any chances there with him. And with the Austin Hedrick kid, he turned his ankle in the that was the sandwich or the Coal City game, and we don't think he's going to be back. And you know what? If it was a playoff game, something along those lines, could we play him possibly? But it's still only game 4. Let's not make things worse than what they are.
All right, Coach. Good luck tonight. Again, we'll talk to you in the postgame.
All right, John. Hey, appreciate it.
That's Coach Raints here joining us on Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company. Take a break. We'll come back, and we'll get to opening kick here in just a few minutes on the Christian Internet Sports Network. Back in just a moment. Phelan Acres Bible Church is the perfect place if you are looking for a church to call home. They have services every week, including Sunday school at 9:45, morning worship at 11, and Wednesday night prayer meetings at 7. Phelan Acres Bible Church is located at 26009 Willow Lane in Wilmington, Illinois. And for more information, call 815-476-7818. That's 815-476-7818. Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 30 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com, or call 815-521-0900. Back in the Christian Internet Sports Network, Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, brought to you by Breezer Construction Company, just about 2 minutes away from opening kick tonight. Well, we got a real big run-through set up all the way out to the 30, but it's packed run-through. We probably have 20 motorcycles.
That's the most motorcycles we've had this year, I believe.
It's got to be at least 20 motorcycles in between the fence and the goalposts.
Must be about 18, 20 of them.
And boy, tonight they got things out and got things done ahead of time. Everybody's out there ready to go. We're not just running out there at the last second. This is the most organized I've seen the pregame.
Now they stopped the run through it 30-yard line, but they got twice as heavy a run
twice
through.
as many people out there.
They're all crowded.
Could have spread it out even a little bit more if they wanted to.
Well, the crowd goes around this corner really nicely.
Well, the Comets will take the field to the far sideline and get ready for Wilmington to make their entrance here tonight.
Haven't seen the helmets yet.
The Cats are taking their time tonight.
Here they come.
No problem with that. It's their home field, and they can take a little bit of time tonight. So here they come through the motorcycle to the end zone, through the run-through, through the smoke. At the end of it all, and we'll get set for football here tonight from Becker Field. There's the fireworks going off beyond the baseball field as well. So the fireworks and all the hoopla that welcomes the Cats to the field tonight. And hopefully they'll be fired up and ready to go against Reed Custer. I don't know how you can't be fired up and ready to go against Reed Custer anyway, but you throw all this stuff in, why not? Boy, that's the most fireworks the most motorcycles I've seen ever, probably.
Oh, it's a beautiful display of fireworks. One of the best in the conference, I'd say.
Well, Wilmington was the one who started that. And now everywhere you go, you see people copy it. And
they still have the best.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah.
Well, the smoke is still kind of drifting over the field here tonight. Kind of a fitting way to get things started between Wilmington and Reed Custer.
And that means the wind isn't blowing much, and it isn't. The flag is hanging limp. We saw Shaw, a quarterback, warming up for the Comets, and he was warming up with his passing arm. So I wonder if they're going to put a little more passing emphasis tonight.
Mason Dransfeld's usually the starting quarterback. I have no idea if they're going to use him at quarterback tonight or not. And I guess we'll find out here momentarily. The Comets will receive going right to left here tonight. So Jacob Casillas will have it teed up at the 40-yard line. Back deep for Reed Custer is Jordan New, back at his own 5-yard line. Reed Custer in their white uniforms tonight with black and gold numbers, letters, and trim. Wilmington in their purple jerseys with the white helmets, numbers, letters, and pants.
There we go.
Waiting for the whistle to get things started here tonight. There it is. And Casillas will approach here. We'll get this thing underway. Kicking off left to right, a short kick again, down to about the 20, out to the 25.
Got some room.
And cut down at the 27-yard line is
too.
Nick Urban. Nick Urban, a 6-foot, 155-pound senior. Gets dropped after a return of about 7 yards, and we've got a block in the back on Reed Custer. So that's going to move the Comets back and start them deep in their own territory to get this game underway tonight. Well, we'll see who's actually playing quarterback for the Comets. It's been Mason Dransfeld for the first 3 weeks of this season, and it looks like it's going to be Tommy Shaw tonight, although we'll wait to see them come up to the line of scrimmage, but certainly looks that way.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if it makes up a little more passing with their run against the Wilmington defense. The Wilmington defense against the run is well known. They are outstanding.
1st and 10 for the Comets from the 18. They split out one receiver to either side. They'll go with the double wing tonight. An option look most of the time for the Comets offensively. So Shaw under center. His time here. The back in motion is Versalot, and we have a flag down. I think somebody's off sides for Wilmington. Good grief. Not even one play in. The Comets jump off sides. Or, excuse me, the Wildcats jump off sides.
That's not what Coach wants to see. He doesn't like those penalties.
Well, free yardage. If there's one thing you don't want to give up to a running team, it's penalty yards.
Yes.
Make them earn every yard they need.
Their idea is to hang on that ball and run that clock and keep it away from you.
So again, one receiver to either side. 1st and 5 for Reed Custer from their own 23-yard line. One back in motion out of the double wing. Keeping it, I believe, is Shaw, but I'll have to see when they get this thing all figured out.
It's hard to tell because they faked that handoff.
Yeah, Shaw kept it up the middle for a gain of 3, close to 4. bring up second down and a short 2 for Reed Custer.
Well, you know, it's a lot easier to write and keep stats when the rain's not blowing on you and it's cold.
Well, Shaw checks out. Mason Dransfeld, the original starting quarterback for Reed Custer the first 3 weeks, back in. One receiver to the near side, back to the double wing for the Comets. Wing back in motion. Keeping it is Dransfeld. He'll get the first down, picks up about 3 yards or so out across the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Comets off the run from Mason Dransfeld.
That's all. If it's done well, this triple offense is hard to stop. It's not built for a lot of yards per go, but 3 to 4 yards is not at all unusual.
Well, this must be the thing tonight for Reed Custer is rotating quarterback. Shaw back in the game. One receiver to either side, and now double wing again for the Comets. Tommy Shaw, 6'1", 160-pound junior, and there's 2 backs in motion, and this gets blown up in a hurry. Shaw gets taken under at the 27-yard line. And lost his helmet and everything. Everybody from Wilmington in on that tackle, literally about half the defense. And this has got to be an illegal shift on the Comets.
Yeah, they had 2 guys in motion in the backfield. They can't do that. Only one.
So the illegal shift, we'll see what Wilmington elects to do here. In my mind, you would decline this, but we'll see officially what the Cats decide to do. Illegal shift. And I believe they did decline it. So it'll be a loss of 3 on the run for Shaw. Bring up second down and 13 for the Comets. Ball back at their own 28-yard line. Again, double wing, one receiver to either side. Dransfeld under center once again. Takes the snap, pitches it to the outside, trying to get the corner. Is Versalot. He does get the corner across the 35 and gets out close to the 40-yard line.
Hey, what? He could motor.
Boy, that's a gain of 12, just a yard short of the first down. Zlomi finally got out of there for the Cats and made the tackle on the far sideline, but you cannot give up the corners against an option offense, so they will run on you all night.
Was that Versalotti that time?
Yep, Versalot on the carry. So now one receiver to the near side, back to the double wing again for the Comets. Dransfeld under center. One back in motion. This is Versalot. Gets the pitch to the near side. Versalot trying to get the corner. Will not get there. Boy, good pursuit
defense
by Mason Southall. Dropped him for no gain. In fact, might have lost a yard. It'll bring up 4th down. Depends on where they spot the ball here. 4th down and close to 2. Boy, what a play by Mason Southall to hustle to the near side and actually cause Reed Custer to lose a yard. And, boy, if you're the Comets, do you go for it here this early?
I would not.
Okay, double wing for the Comets. Dransfeld trying to keep it, and it's going to be close, but I don't know if he got there. The near side official has it marked as a first down. The far side official has it marked short, so it just depends on where they put it. Oh, good grief. That's a really good spot from the near side official.
You're going to have to measure it.
I believe I'm going to go on record as saying this is a first down.
I think it is too, and I think this near side official gave them a really good.
Boy, I'm telling you, that far side official came in just barely across the 40. The near side official was across the 41. So
somebody saw something that somebody else didn't see.
I'm going to go on record here saying this is a first down based on where they spotted the ball.
I agree with you. I think it's about a half a football.
But I mean, they barely got there if they did.
I'd say it's a half a football.
We'll see. Got the chains out there now.
A whole football.
Wow. Well, that doesn't seem like that would be an accurate chain. By the way the chains are pulled there, he was about a half yard or a yard beyond it, which it certainly didn't look that way. But in any case, 1st and 10 Comets from their own 41 as they roll the dice to get just enough to get a first down. Now one receiver to either side, and they keep the football too, which is even more important. Double wing for the Comets. 1st and 10 from their own 41. In motion is Versalot. And we've got a flag down. And we've got, I believe, a penalty on Reed Custer here. Legal procedure on the Comets. So that'll back them up 5 yards, make it 1st and 15 for Reed Custer. It's weird. I mean, defending this offense is very difficult if you don't see it very often. And
we don't.
Nobody. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen this offense in a long time. It's almost like running the wishbone without the wishbone. I mean, you got the triple option, fullback fakes and pitches to the outside. And it's an interesting offense. If you run it right, it could be very effective. One receiver to either side. Shaw now back in at quarterback under center. Double wing, and we got another penalty flag down. And this is delay a game, but that...
How can it be a delay of game?
I don't know. It certainly did not seem like that was a long enough time to be delay a game, but they backed it up 5 yards.
I think the coach is coming out to ask a question, too.
So back them up 5 yards. It'll bring up 1st and 20 for Reed Custer now. Ball back at the 31-yard line. One receiver to either side. Shaw under center again. Double wing for the Comets. In motion versus Salat. Shaw fires incomplete out at the 45-yard line, and we've got a flag down at the 45. It's Mason Southall on the coverage, and there's a flag down from the far side official. It wasn't even the official closest to the play. It was the far side official that was about
they got a call pass
25 yards away from the play, and he throws a flag for pass interference, which, good grief, that's, yeah. Let's just say that's not a particularly good call.
So what do we call this?
That's going to give, it was, what, 1st and 20. The ball will be moved up to the 46-yard line.
15 yards.
And it will bring up 1st down and just about 5, maybe, yeah, right at 5 yards for Reed Custer. Boy, that's just borderline ridiculous. So double wing here for the Comets. Handoff goes up the middle to the fullback, Costain. We got another flag down. Is this going to be like,
come on.
What was it, Sunday Night Football, where it was a flag every 2 seconds? The game went on for 4.5 hours because we had a penalty flag every other play.
Procedure again.
So legal procedure on Reed Custer, so it'll back him up and make it 1st and 10. Boy, did you see that in the Bears game the other night?
Yes.
It got so out of hand with the flags. I think they said there was like 37 accepted penalties in that game, and I think they threw like 50-something flags on the night.
They had three flags in one play for the Bears.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the 3 penalty flags on one play before against the same team, at least. Shaw drops back to pass, pressured from the backside, and now he's dropped back at the 35-yard line. Boy, nice play defensively.
51.
And the Wildcats by Vince Swift, who makes the sack back at the 36-yard line. Or bring up 2nd down and 15. Oh, is that score right? Boy, Westmont up on Lyle, 34-7 with 9 minutes to go in the half. Well, that's crazy.
Westmont up on Lyle?
Westmont scored 34 points, and there's still 9 minutes to go in the half.
How'd they do it?
I don't know, but we'll see Westmont next week. Good grief, they come out like that. So here we go, 2nd down and 15 for the Comets from their own 36. We've got another whistle. I think there's a timeout to Reed Custer here. Well, this is an odd start to a game tonight.
One thing Reed Custer has succeeded in doing is keeping the ball out of Wilmington's hands. And down to 8:15 left in the first quarter.
8:15 to go in the quarter. No score. Take a break. Back with more Cats football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria in downtown Coal City is an authentic Italian restaurant that's all about sharing great food in a relaxing atmosphere. Ricchetti's has delicious paninis, sandwiches, calzones, salad, pasta, and of course their incredible pizza. Plus, you can check out a game on one of their many TVs, and they have Wi-Fi too. Stop by Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria today at 375 South Broadway in Coal City.
8:15 to go in the first. No score between Reed Custer and Wilmington. It's weird because Reed Custer gets a 1st down. They get backed up 15 or 20 yards. Then they seem to get 15 or 20 back. Then they get backed up 10 yards. It's been an odd first drive of the game. 2nd and 15 for the Comets back at the 36. Shaw drops back to pass. Looking near side. Going to be sacked back at the 32-yard line. Boy, Wilmington collapsed that pocket in a hurry. Kirchner in on the sack for the Cats, and it will bring up 3rd down and 18 or so for Reed Custer.
Yeah, he was trying to wait for the receiver to get open. Then he looked around, saw the whole thing was collapsing on him. He tried to look for an escape route, and then he just ducked his head and took the hit.
So 3rd down, and we'll call it 18 for Reed Custer as Mason Dransfeld back in there. Well, I guess he's going to go to receiver as Shaw will play quarterback here.
Yeah, Shaw stayed at quarterback pretty much.
So Dransfeld, receiver to the near side. So one receiver to either side, double wing for the Comets again. Dropping back is Shaw, looking right side, fires incomplete. Good coverage out there by Nick Hawkins. Just nothing there. Pass intended for Brennan Hoger, and it'll bring up 4th down and 18 for Reed Custer. Good defense that time from the Cats.
Yeah, nice job. Nick got his hand up there and knocked that ball down, and good shot.
But see what we were talking about before the game started? Even if you if you get 1 or 2 first downs, when you run this offense, they've already chewed off.
Eat the clock up.
They already chewed off about 5 minutes off the clock.
Yeah.
It keeps you in games a lot of the time. There's a snapback on the punt. Quick kick here from Dransfeld. Line drive, bounces at the 35, kicks back out to the 37, and that's where it's down by Justin Grandis. And Wilmington will take over there 1st and 10 with 7:17 to go in our opening quarter. Just a reminder, next week we'll be up in Westmont. The Sentinels will welcome in Wilmington. 7:15, our start time for Wilmington Wildcats Weekly. Westmont tonight, a 34-7 lead on Lyle, and there's still 9 minutes to go in the half. I'd like to know how in the world that happened.
When's the last time we saw a Westmont team score points that quick?
Steve Smock getting the start at quarterback tonight for the Cats. So Smock will hand it off. Hawkins near side. Breaks a tackle out to the 40, and that's it. So a gain of 2 or 3 on the first carry of the night for Wilmington. Elijah Lujano on the stop for Reed Custer. It'll bring up 2nd down and about 6 or so for the Cats. So a gain of 4 on 1st down. So Steve Smock, 6'2", 173-pound junior, getting the start for Wilmington tonight. Double wing attack for the Cats. It's Hawkins and McWilliams at wingbacks. Hawks in at fullback. Handoff McWilliams, left side. Kind of slowed up.
Yeah.
Looking for a block or something, and then got shot down after a gain of a couple. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for Wilmington from their own 43-yard line.
Let's see, Smock is down on the receivers.
So again, double wing for the Cats. 3rd down and 4 for Wilmington. Smock under center. Pitch near side. Hawkins out near the 1st down marker. I think he's got it. Picked up 4, maybe close to 5. Again, Lujano on the stop for Reed Custer. It is a gain of 5 and a Wilmington 1st down. 6:08 to go in the first quarter. No score.
Looked like he was going to be stopped short, and he put his head driving straight ahead down low about knee high and pushed out that last yard or 2.
So Smock checks out, and Mason Southall enters the game for Wilmington.
Did Mason have a bout with the flu bug? Is that why he is?
I'm not sure. Maybe he got dinged up after the playing on defense there initially. I don't know. Handoff near side. Hawkins across midfield, and that's going to be it. Down to the 48-yard line. Picked up maybe 3. Nice pursuit there for Reed Custer.
Yeah, very good pursuit.
That's John Cassom, 6 foot, 187-pound senior. It's a little slow to get up, too. I mean, he might have to go off the other side of the field. I don't know.
He's hurting a little bit.
I think he will. Looks like his left arm, maybe. Kind of dragging that left shoulder. So
yeah, Hawkins gave a little. It looked like he was going to go down. He gave a little more effort. Got those 2 yards, and he was hanging on to him, and it might have injured that shoulder.
2nd down and 8 for the Cats from the 49 of Reed Custer. No score. 5:10 to go in our opening quarter. From Becker Field tonight here in Wilmington. Finally a night with nice weather.
Yes.
Finally.
No lightning, no rain.
Look at this.
No wind.
I formation for the Cats. Cats go to I formation with McWilliams, the tailback. Gets the handoff, trying to force it up the middle. They'll pick up a yard or 2, but that's it. Nice job from Reed Custer defensively. Stephen Podkolski, 6'4", 240-pound junior on the stop. They'll bring up 3rd down and 5 after a gain of 3 on the carry for McWilliams.
Reed Custer defense has been pretty stout in the middle down there.
Not bad. Into the lineup for Wilmington comes Tyler Breimer at a wing back. So the Cats getting a little bit of everybody in there early. Shotgun formation still out of the double wing for the Cats. Southall takes the snap. Handoff near side McWilliams. Nothing.
Boy, that was a
maybe
good
a yard.
play.
That's it. Just nothing there. Good pursuit again by Elijah Lujano. We've called his name quite a few times. They bring up 4th down and 4, a gain of a yard, and that's it.
They've done their homework in Wilmington quite well. They've been right exactly where the running backs were going, stopping up the holes.
Well, Barry Southall not too pleased with a couple things that happened there and letting his opinion be known here on the near sideline. So Derek Kirchner will get set to punt it away here. Twin safeties back deep for Reed Custer. That's Versalot and New back deep. The punt, relatively short. I don't know why Versalot let that go. He could have just fair caught it.
Like it almost hit him.
He just stepped out of the way. Well, that goes Wilmington's way anyway. He let the ball bounce, and it'll be down at the 15. Reed Custer will have it there, 1st and 10. Well, this game going the way Reed Custer wants it so far. That's ball control, use up clock, keep the game close, and try to get a score or two late to pull out a win. And so far, their plan is working.
It seems like that's what they've done most of the year. They just kind of hung on the ball and hang around and get a chance to win.
One receiver to either side. Pitch comes near side, trying to get the corners Versalot. He does initially, bounces off a defender, which is Hawks, and then gets thrown to the ground at the 17-yard line by Joe Mann. So a gain of 4 on 1st down for Versalot. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6 for Reed Custer. So far for the Comets, they've moved the ball a little bit. They've been kind of their own worst enemy at times, though, with penalties.
Yeah, they've run the ball well. They've played good, stout defense the first quarter. We're coming down to 250 now in the first quarter. We're eating up that first quarter almost.
One receiver to either side. Back to the double wing for the Comets again. Transfelt keeping it this time off the right side. And going to pick up 2 or 3 yards. Gets out to the 20-yard line before he's tripped up. So a gain of 3. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 3 for the Comets at their own 20.
Transfelt the more productive runner of the two quarterbacks. He has picked up a total of 8 yards on the opposite side. Thomas Shaw, including a sack, as -8.
So far for Reed Custer, that's what you want. 3 or 4 yards at a shot. Again, the shorter set double wing. Handoff goes up the middle on 3rd and 3, and that's not going to get anywhere close to a 1st down. Handoff went to John Costain, and nothing there. So Derek Kirchner on the stop for Wilmington will bring up 4th down and 2. Well, if I know Wilmington, I think I do, I think you'll see them pass a few times here and try to catch Reed Custer over pursuing on the run defense. But we'll see. Usually it takes a quarter or two to set all that stuff up. The snap back, the kick here from Transfeld is a good kick. Bounces at the 48 of Wilmington, goes out of bounds on the far side at the Cats 43. So not too bad of a punt, actually, from Mason Transfeld. 1:19 to go in the quarter. No score between Wilmington and Reed Custer. So far, the Cats haven't had the ball very long. And Wilmington's had the ball for, 2 minutes? Maybe 3?
Let's see.
Hasn't been long, I know that much. Had it for about 3 minutes, probably.
Actually, almost 4.
Oh, okay. I guess they had a little bit longer than I thought. 1st and 10 for the Cats. Ball at their own 43-yard line. Southall back in under center. 2 receivers to the near side. And 1 wingback, 1 fullback for the Cats. Southall takes the snap, drops back to pass, fires it near side. Caught by Joe Mann out at the 45 of Reed Custer and knee down there. So a gain of 12 yards on 1st down for Wilmington. ring up a first down for the Cats.
Ball just a little bit off course. So he had to change. Joe had to change direction for a little bit. His feet got slipping out from underneath him and gave the defenders time to get over there and knock him out of bounds.
1st and 10, Wilmington from the 45 of Reed Custer. Like we said before, that's what Wilmington's going to have to do this year is loosen up the defense a little bit with a couple of passes and then go back to what you do best. There's nobody. Well, now they finally got somebody at the far side, just Reed Custer. 1st and 10 for Wilmington. Hawkins near side, breaks a tackle inside the 40, bounces off another defender, and finally gets thrown to the ground at the 33-yard line of Reed Custer. That should be another first down for Wilmington.
Hawkins running hard, keeping that head down low to the ground.
Boy, that's a nice run from Nick Hawkins. A gain of 11 and a Wilmington first down to the 34 of Reed Custer. No score, 49 seconds to go opening quarter here tonight from Becker Field.
Hawkins had gained 23 yards and 4 carries. So it's about 5 1/4 yards a carry.
2 receivers to the far side for Wilmington. Again, 1 wingback, 1 fullback. Southall drops back, throws it up deep down the far sideline, has a receiver, but overshot Alex Zlomi at the 10-yard line. Boy,
that was wide open.
Zlomi wide open, and I guarantee you they're going to go back to that. Reed Custer is doing some odd, almost like zone coverage out there with Elijah Lujano kind of playing halfway in between the receivers, and they're kind of banking on Shaw playing back at safety to get over there and cut that off, but I think Wilmington could take advantage of that.
I think that might have been a touchdown in the making right there if he'd had that ball just a little shorter.
He would have walked into the end zone.
Wide open.
So 2nd and 10 for Wilmington from the 34 of Reed Custer. Packed in, double wing, pitch to Hawkins inside the 30. Almost broke another tackle all the way down to the 26 of Reed Custer. Good run on first down, gain of 9. It'll bring up 2nd down and a yard for Wilmington.
Boy, he's a tough runner, isn't he? A little guy, but boy, he can really puts those shoulders down, that head straight ahead, and he just makes you take him down.
20 seconds to go, opening quarter, still no score, but Wilmington on the move.
Seemed like in first year he was easier to bring down. As he's got more experience, he's been more tough to bring down.
3rd and a short 2 for Wilmington from the 26. Southall keeps it, has all kinds of room. Has Zlomi going to keep it himself, though. Inside the 20, gets a block to the 10. 5, touchdown Wilmington. Mason Southall in for the score off the quarterback keeper. And the Cats strike first, 6-0 with 1 second to go in the opening quarter. Well, he rolled out to the far side. He had Zlomi wide open down the field, but Mason kept it himself, got a nice block on the end. Zlomi also threw a block, the second block down the field, and Mason just walked into the end zone.
That was a great call. They've taken the over pursuit of the Reed Custer team and used it against them. Made the play go to the right, and they took the quarterback's keeper to the left.
Casillas on for the extra point, and that is good as well. With 0.6 seconds to go in our opening quarter, 7-0 Wilmington. Take a break. Back with more Cats football in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
ACN representative Pete Treby has a very simple way for you to save money on your monthly bills. All you have to do is go to Pete's website and fill out the free analysis form. Then Pete will show you a detailed way to save money on everything: wireless, satellite TV, high-speed internet, local and long distance, computer support, and coming soon, save money on energy. Go to the sponsors page on this website, click on ACN Representative Pete Treby's link, fill out the free analysis form, and start saving money today. Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG tech.com.
Casillas approaches. Short kickoff here. Bounces at the 28. Caught at the 27. And that's it. Matter of fact, Rick Custer might have lost a yard on the return by Nick Urban. Now that'll bring us to the end of quarter number 1. Wilmington leads at 7-0 over Reed Custer. Once again, take a break, come back in the second quarter here in just a moment. Cats lead it by a touchdown. Back with more Wilmington football in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Teresa's Styling Salon in Wilmington is a casual, family-friendly salon that caters to people of all ages. Teresa's provides everything from haircuts to perms to manicures, and they can highlight or color your hair for that special look. Teresa's is located in the Southgate Plaza on Water Street in Wilmington. Call today for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955.
Phelan Acres Bible Church is the perfect place if you are looking for a church to call home. They have services every week, including Sunday school at 9:45, morning worship at 11, and Wednesday night prayer meetings at 7. Phelan Acres Bible Church is located at 26009 Willow Lane in Wilmington, Illinois. And for more information, call 815-476-7818. That's 815-476-7818.
First and 10 for Reed Custer from their own 29-yard line. Once again, one receiver to either side, double wing for the Comets. Shaw back in under center, and again, two backs in motion for Reed Custer, and that pass on the near side sails over the intended receiver, Dransfeld, as Southall on in coverage, but again, it'll be an illegal shift on Reed Custer, so it'll go from 1st and 10 to 1st and 15 for the Comets.
They've had 5 penalties called on them. One of them they refused. The other 4 was a total of 20 yards. So 5 penalties accepted for 20 yards.
Plano up early on Coal City, 6-0 in the first quarter.
That could be a good game.
So one receiver to the near side, back to the double wing again for Reed Custer. One back in motion. Pitch comes near side, trying to get the corner as Versalot does across the 25, out near the 29-yard line before he's tripped up there. Actually, might have slipped to the ground.
Yeah, I think he tried to cut back, and his feet were out from underneath him. He ran a country mile, but ended up getting between a yard and 2 yards. Almost 2 yards.
He only picked up 6 yards.
6. Oh,
bring up second down and 9 for Reed Custer back at their own, almost the original line scrimmage, the 29-yard line.
Who was it?
Technically second and 9. One receiver to the far side, one to the near. Dransfeld back under center again. Double wing for the Comets. And the handoff goes far side to Versalot, gets the corner out across the 35. I think he's got a first down out near the, picks up, I don't know if he got a first down or not. Depends where they marked the ball down. He picked up about 8 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and a yard. Well, I'll tell you what, that was difficult to figure out who had the football. First, I thought it was the fullback, and it was such a quick move from the fake to the fullback to the pitch to Versalot that was difficult. Now, here is the wishbone formation for Reed Custer, and we got a flag down. Matter of fact, 3 flags. And a legal procedure on the Comets.
They can
run
the ball if they can get these penalties.
They just stop racking up penalties. Reed Custer can move the football.
Got some very aggressive runners and some decent blocking. They can make some hay here if they can get those penalty things straightened out.
Well, they go from 3rd and a yard to 3rd and 6, and that's a huge difference in an option offense.
Whoever's operating the chains, it's got the down mark. It usually goes where the down is, where the ball is. They had it down there with a 1 or 2 yard game while they're going to trick me. Now they've got it back where it goes again.
So 3rd and 6 for Reed Custer. Back in motion is Hoger. And this goes nowhere. Stacked up off the initial play, and that's Mason Dransfeld. And we got a flag. That's going to be for personal foul for throwing Dransfeld back after the whole play was over, so another penalty. I mean, I understand that's a little late to be pushing somebody, but it's not like, I don't know. I mean, I get it. I know why that's a penalty, but
it's kind of silly.
So personal foul on Wilmington. So it'll be a 15-yard penalty, and it will be a Reed Custer first down.
Well, that's Wilmington's third penalty.
You just can't do that kind of stuff. Even though it seems a little ticky-tack, you just can't do it. I mean, you can't shove somebody after the whistle's over, and even though I might not completely agree with that being a penalty per se, it still technically is, that's a borderline play, and, you don't need it. So 1st and 10 for Reed Custer from their own 47-yard line. We'll see what the Comets can do with decent field position off the penalty. One receiver to either side, back to the double wing for Reed Custer. Misdirection back near side. And a gain of about 6, close to 7 by Don Bersalot again. Nick Hawkins on the stop for Wilmington. I'm telling you, Comets are moving the football and moving it fairly easily. Second down and a short 3 coming up for Reed Custer.
Last 3 times Bersalot secured the ball, it's been 6, 8, and 7 yards.
2 receivers to the near side. Again, double wing for the Comets. In motion is Bersalot, and there's another penalty for legal procedure on Reed Custer. Good grief. That time around, John Costain got out of his stance a little bit early. If they didn't rack up double-digit penalties in the first quarter plus.
And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 penalties. And we're at 10 minutes, 29 seconds left in the second quarter yet, and they got 7 penalties.
How much yardage? I mean, they got probably 50 yards rushing.
Oh, they got a good bit
so far, so it's adding up. 2 receivers to the near side, double wing again for Reed Custer. 2nd and 8. Handoff goes to the fullback for a gain of a couple on that dive play. Good job by Wilmington to close the gap in a hurry. That's Brad Smith on the carry for Reed Custer. Bring up 3rd down and 6, so a gain of 2 for Brad. 9:50 to go in the half. 7-0 is the lead for Wilmington, but Reed Custer has hung on to the football for a lot of this first half.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. That keeps them in games. They've done it all year, evidently. And they lost the game 14-12. Just doing this very same thing. And
1 receiver to either side, double wing again. Pitch comes near side. Bersalot trying to get the corner. Does. Got a first down close to the 41-yard line of Wilmington.
Boy, he runs fast, doesn't he?
Gain of about 8 yards as Bersalot got the corner.
Look at that, 6, 8, 7, 8. Last 4 carries. Man.
Somebody's got to spy Bersalot here eventually because he's the only one really doing any damage.
You're exactly right. The only one.
He's a quick running back.
Yes, he is.
So 2 receivers to the far side. 1st and 10 for Reed Custer from the Wilmington 41. Double wing for the Comets again. In motion is Hoger. Now goes back and sets the far side. Now in motion, Bersalot gets the pitch to the far side. This time gets met. Still manages to pick up about 3 yards as Hawkins meets him and drops him after a gain of about 3. Bring up 2nd and 7 for Reed Custer. Even at that, if you can get 3 or 4 yards a shot.
That's all they need. They can keep that up. They can keep the ball moving. And Wilmington so far hasn't got an answer for this running game now in the second quarter. They have really controlled it.
Well, this was the problem that Coal City had week 1. Coal City could not figure out how to stop the option attack. And even though the Kohlers ended up winning by a couple of scores by pulling away late, Reed Custer gave them fits
see what
for
happens.
the better part of 3 quarters.
Yeah, they control the ball like this. The score doesn't go up, and they can still stay in the game.
Now we get a whistle and an official's timeout. So bring up 2nd down and 7 upcoming here. So 1 receiver to either side. And the handoff comes right side. Nothing doing. Boy, good job, Derek Kirchner. Stiffing that play on immediately as the handoff went to Vincent Bersalot. And might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Kirchner did a nice job kind of sniffing that out right from the beginning. It'll bring up 3rd and 7 for Reed Custer.
Yeah, they tried to go with that misdirection play using Bersalot Sr., Don, using him as the target going the other way, and then brought his younger brother this way.
So Dransfeld checks out. Tommy Shaw back in at quarterback. One receiver to either side. Double wing again for Reed Custer. 3rd and 7 from the Wilmington 38-yard line. Shaw drops back and he's sacked back at the 44-yard line. Boy, good pursuit from the Wilmington defense. Trying to see who it was. Was it Kirchner or was it? I think that's Kyle Davis on the sack for Wilmington. I couldn't see if it was 62 or 52, but it's Kyle Davis on the sack.
I don't know, but if I'm the Reed Custer coach, I'm
There's
staying with that running game.
Yeah, there's no need to pass it. Pretty much effort. Because that's gone absolutely nowhere. So a loss of close to 5, 4th down and 11 for Reed Custer from the Wilmington 42, and they will punt it away here seemingly. The kick by Dransfeld, a high kick, nice kick. Taken at the 15. Breimer breaks a tackle across the 25 to the 30.
There's a flag at the field
and upended. They're actually going to mark him down at about the 27-yard line. There's a flag on the play. Well, we've gone a play or two with no flag, so why not? Well, that's usually in the area of holding or a block in the back.
Pushing the back, yeah.
I'm not really sure the officials even know. It's a block in the back on Wilmington, so I'll back them up. 6:42 to go in the half. The Cats lead at 7-0, but let's face it, they've had troubles stopping the Reed Custer running game.
They certainly have.
Reed Custer's been their own worst enemy with penalties. Now, of course, Wilmington's helped them out with a couple of 15-yard penalties.
Man, where's this going?
Good grief. It goes from the 27 all the way back to the 7-yard line.
I'll tell you what,
I don't know how that's possible. If the flag is at the 30-yard line,
way out here,
and the line of scrimmage is at the 27, how can it be a 20-yard penalty if the flag is farther up the field from the line of scrimmage?
I have no idea.
Not really sure how they came up with this, but in any case, 1st and 10 for Wilmington from their own 7-yard line. Southall under center. One receiver to the near side. Handoff goes to the fullback. Nothing doing. Boy, nice job by the Comets up front. Not much there for Gavin Hawks. I'll bring up 2nd down and long for the Cats. I'd like someone to explain that penalty to me.
That was crazy.
How you figure out that markage.
Guess they got him no gain.
Unless you threw the flag at the 30 and then said that it was committed at the 15 or something. I mean, I don't know what.
We're talking about
odd.
Reed Custer controlling the game with that running game. They had 5 going on 6 minutes of that second quarter. They had the ball.
Double wing for the Cats. One receiver to the near side. Make that 2 receivers pass. Caught by Zalomi across the 30, out to the 35. Breaks a tackle. Still going out to the 39-yard line. I didn't see Zalomi split out all the way to the near side. I saw just one receiver, but Zalomi was all the way to the near sideline. Catches that pass and goes all the way out to the 39-yard line before he stopped. That's a gain of 32 yards. And we have a sideline warning against Wilmington. Well, hey, that's the first one this year. Usually we see one a game. The awesome sideline warning, which is always hilarious to me. So timeout to Reed Custer. 7-0 is the lead for Wilmington. 5:49 to go in the half. Take a break. Back with more Cats football here in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
If you're looking for more information on Wilmington Wildcats football, then check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Each week, Coach Reentz goes over game film, takes questions from the audience, and presents the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Plus, you'll get to hang out with other Wildcat fans and get the inside scoop on next week's game. So be sure to check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. If you need something done around your house, chances are Beth's Busy Bees can get it done. They specialize in residential and commercial cleaning, but they can also do lawn care, small home remodeling and repair jobs, and even things like caregiving. Beth's Busy Bees is a small family-owned business, and they will treat you right every time. Call 815-685-9111 for Beth's Busy Bees today.
First and 10 for Wilmington from their own 39-yard line off the 32-yard pass play from Southall to Salome. First and 10, Wilmington from the 39. You lead it 7-0, 5:49 to go in the half. Pitch back to Hawkins.
Oh.
Hey, look, there's a flag on the play. We've got, let's see, a legal procedure on Wilmington this time.
Sometimes I think these guys are.
I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody flinched up front. Very possible. I didn't see it. Although last week on the game film from the legal procedure that they had up at Lyle, it was fairly evident on film. The fullback moved and caused it. I didn't see it there, but I wasn't particularly looking all that close either. Pitch back to Hawkins across the 35 to the 40, out to the 45, dragging the defender out to the 46-yard line.
He drug number 34 with him.
A gain of 12 on the run for Nick Hawkins.
Loggiano.
Bring up second down and 4 for Wilmington. Actually, maybe 3 yards or so. We'll see if we can go more than 4 or 5 plays without somebody being whistled for a penalty. Second down, and we'll call it 3 for Wilmington from the 46 of the Wildcats. Dropping back to pass, Southall rolling near side, looking downfield. Doesn't have much open. Got to throw it deep, and he's got Joe Manning complete at the 15-yard line of Reed Custer. It'll bring up third down and 3. Initially, there was nobody open, but Joe Mann just kind of kept coming toward the sideline and eventually got open.
Boy, if that had been complete, that was another touchdown. He had his defender by a good 3 strides.
Tell you what, there's some interesting scores going on. We'll have those for you at halftime. By the way, the Warren's Collision Center halftime show coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll get you first half stats as well as a lot of scores from around the area. We've got some interesting ones to pass along. Tonight's just been weird. Westmont scoring 34 points in the first quarter, basically.
I don't think they've ever done that since we've been doing games. That's what, 9 years or something?
We got a lot of scores to pass along to you at halftime. Double wing for the Cats, 3rd and 3 from the 46. Pitch back to Hawkins, trying to get the corner, runs into it. A defender tried to churn ahead, picked up a couple. He's close to a first down.
He ran to the back of a defender who was looking the opposite way. I don't know how he got.
It's a gain of 3, but he's just short of a first down. 4th and about a half a yard. And I don't think there's any doubt here that Wilmington's going to go for this. 4th and half a yard from their own 48-yard line. 4 minutes, 30 seconds and counting here in the half, and Wilmington leading at 7-0. When people came to this game tonight, just thought Wilmington was just going to roll over Reed Custer. That was not going to happen, and I think everybody was kind of aware of that coming in. 4th and half a yard. Southall keeps it near side, looking downfield, trying to get the corner. Breaks a tackle, gets the first down inside the 45 to the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and thrown to the ground at the 2. Somehow he got out of the tackle of Mason Dransfeld, which would have dropped him for no gain, broke the tackle, and then broke off a 50-yard run to give Wilmington a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. But that looked dead.
It did.
And somehow Southall managed to get around Dransfeld and then get up the sideline.
Dransfeld looked like he had that one sniffed out. He was coming out and grabbing him from behind. Got a hand on him, but he couldn't pull him down. He pulled loose, made the turn, and got a good block or 2 up the sideline here.
Boy, what a run by Mason Southall. That was unbelievable. 1st and goal from the 2 for Wilmington. Back to the double wing again. Southall under center. And hands it off the right side, and then in for the touchdown is Nick Hawkins. 13-0 the lead for Wilmington. 3:43 to go in the half. Nick Hawkins with a 1-yard touchdown run technically, although it was closer to 2 yards. And Casillas on to attempt the extra point. Boy, that was some run by Mason Southall.
It was, because it looked like he was dead in the water. And he refused to give up.
Once he broke the tackle from Dransfeld, he had all kinds of room up the sideline. He got a couple of really nice blocks, too. Kick from Casillas is good, and the Cats lead it 14-0. 3:43 to go in the half. Take a break. Come back with more Cats football in just a moment here on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Warren's Collision Center is your hometown body shop specializing in top-of-the-line customer service. Warren's accepts all insurance companies, and they offer free estimates, certified technicians, and a lifetime written warranty. Plus, Warren's will set you up with a rental car while your vehicle is in the shop. So the next time you need work done on your vehicle, call my good friend Warren at 815-458-3300 or stop by Warren's Collision Center at 242 North Front Street in Braidwood. You can also check them out online at warrenscollision.com. Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair. Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 30 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com or call 815-521-0900.
Kickoff again is a short kick out to the 32, and it was fair caught, I believe, by Vincent Damiano at the 33. Make it the 34, and Reed Custer will start there 1st and 10. Well, it's been an interesting first half. The Cats have definitely had to work to get their 14 points. Reed Custer has managed to move the football, although not in gigantic chunks. They've moved the football enough to keep the clock rolling and to keep this game close. And we'll see what they do toward the end of the half. If they just stick with the running attack, which I think really is their best option here. I don't think you want to risk throwing a pick and giving Wilmington more points.
I think they messed up last time going to the pass. Got thrown for that loss. And
chopping back, pass near side, caught by Dransfeld, and it will be a first down. Good-looking pass from Tommy Shaw. Nice coverage out there, too, from Southall, but a gain of 11 and a first down for Reed Custer on the pass to Dransfeld. That was a nice-looking play. We'll take Shaw out. Dransfeld will take over at quarterback again. 1st and 10 for Reed Custer from their own 45-yard line. One receiver to the far side, one to the near. Back to the double wing for the Comets. Dransfeld back under center. In motion is Versalot. And the handoff goes to the fullback, I believe, or did Dransfeld kept it?
I think he kept it and just jumped over the...
Boy, for some reason, it looked like he gave it to Castaigne, but Dransfeld did keep it. Gain of 2. Bring up 2nd and 8 for the Comets from the 47-yard line of Reed Custer. Anytime you run this option offense, if you're not looking exactly what's going on,
it is really confusing. If you're on defense, it's got to really be confusing to you.
So one receiver to the near side, back to the double wing again for the Comets. Dransfeld under center. Pitches it to the outside. That's going to go nowhere. Brennan Hoger gets dropped for a loss of 2 on the play. Boy, what pursuit by the Cats, and Derek Kirchner again out there to drop him for a loss of 2.
Who was that?
And they went to Brennan Hoger. They tried to fake to the fullback up the middle and then pitched to the outside, which worked so well with Versalot. They tried to go to the opposite side for Hoger, and that didn't go anywhere. 3rd down and 10 for Reed Custer from the 45 of the Comets. One receiver to the near side. Under center again, Dransfeld. Double wing for the Comets. In motion, Versalot. Dransfeld jots back to pass. Screen pass. Almost intercepted on the screen pass. But it's caught for a loss of a couple on the play, and Wilmington will use a timeout. Hawkins almost dove over the back to try to intercept it. I think it was caught.
Did you say who caught it? Was it Versalot? Or?
I'm not completely sure who did catch that. It might have been Versalot. I think Hawkins is out there in coverage. Go ahead and give him credit for that because I'm not particularly sure.
They got minus 2-yard gain on it. Actually lost.
1:52 to go in the half. 14-0 lead for Wilmington. They use a timeout here. It'll be 4th and 12 for Reed Custer. Ball back at their own 43-yard line.
Good call by Coach calling the timeout. He had a chance to get that ball back. If they could some way squeak out one more score before halftime, that would put a fresh new pressure on Reed Custer.
Sure to stick around for our halftime show brought to you by Warren's Collision Center out in Braidwood, where they care beyond the repair. Big thank you to Warren and the staff out at Warren's Collision Center for sponsoring our halftime show this year. We'll have your first half totals, and we'll have a whole bunch of scores from around the I-8 and the area as well. We got some interesting scores to pass along to you, so be sure you stick around for the halftime show brought to you by Warren's Collision Center. Reed Custer facing a 4th and 12 from their own 43. They'll be forced to punt here. Transfelt will kick it away, a line drive kick. Breimer trying to track it down, and it bounces backwards at the 30, and will be down right around the 31-yard line. Well, let's see what the Cats elect to do here. Do you try to do something offensively? Do you just sit on the football and run it a few times and go in the locker room with a 14-0 lead? Or I'll be interested to see what Southall and Reentz do here.
Let me see.
Breimer checks back in for the Cats. I'm going to say they're going to run the football a few times.
Think they will?
Who knows? I don't know. Every time I guess, it's usually wrong, so they're probably going to end up passing a few times. 2 receivers to the near side.
I wouldn't put it past them to run a couple plays and then pass.
Well, Southall's out of the gun, so maybe. Mason out of the shotgun, 1st and 10 for Wilmington from 31. Handoff goes McWilliams, far side, out to the 35-yard line, turns ahead to the 37, picks up close to 6 yards. We'll bring up 2nd down and 4 for Wilmington. Down to 1:30 and counting here in the half. 2 receivers again out to the near side. Southall out of the shotgun, 2nd and 4 from the Wilmington 37-yard line. Handoff again, McWilliams has the 1st down, breaks a tackle at the 45, breaks another tackle in midfield to the 45 of Reed Custer, to the 40, down the sideline to the 30, cuts it back, 25, 20, McWilliams all the way down to the 10-yard line.
Wow, what a way to run. See him keep changing direction. That was a fantastic job of running.
A gain of 54 yards on the run for Nick McWilliams, and it will be 1st and goal for Wilmington from the 10-yard line. Actually, it depends on where they put the ball. It might not be 1st and goal. I think that they told the chain to stay on the sideline, and we've got unsportsmanlike conduct on. I'm not really. Did they call silent warning or unsportsmanlike conduct on Reed Custer?
Must be unsportsmanlike conduct.
It must be. I don't. It's. Or. Oh, it must be sideline. The flag's down on the far sideline. So that is a penalty that will be added on at the end of the run. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 5 for Wilmington with 1:07 to go in the half, and they lead at 14-0. Boy, that's a run and a half by Nick McWilliams. That's
beautiful job of power. First of all, breaking through the initial contact, and then using his blockers, waiting for them, and changing direction each time the Reed Custer guy got in the way.
1st and goal from the 5. Quick pitch back, and Hawkins, is he in again? He is. Touchdown run from 5 yards for Nick Hawkins, his 2nd of the night. And Wilmington leads it 20-0 with 52 seconds to go in the half. Boy, that quick pitch back always seems to work.
Wow.
For the Cats on these short yardage situations. And they're in for another score. Well, let's be sure we give credit to the people doing the blocking out there, too, on these runs, because there's a lot of guys way downfield throwing some blocks.
Oh, that last long run, there were several blocks downfield.
Casillas with the extra point, and he bangs it through again. 21-0 the lead for Wilmington. 52 seconds to go in the half. We'll take a break. Back with more Cats football in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria in downtown Coal City is an authentic Italian restaurant that's all about sharing great food in a relaxing atmosphere. Ricchetti's has delicious paninis, sandwiches, calzones, salad, pasta, and of course their incredible pizza. Plus, you can check out a game on one of their many TVs, and they have Wi-Fi too. Stop by Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria today at 375 South Broadway in Coal City. ACN representative Pete Treby has a very simple way for you to save money on your monthly bills. All you have to do is go to Pete's website and fill out the free analysis form. Then Pete will show you a detailed way to save money on everything: wireless, satellite TV, high-speed internet, local and long distance, computer support, and coming soon, save money on energy. Go to the sponsors page on this website, click on ACN Representative Pete Treby's link, fill out the free analysis form, and start saving money today.
52 seconds to go in the half as the Cats tee it up at the 40, kicking off right to left. Casillas, a line drive kick. Boy, that's a nice kick if it stays in bounds. It does. Picked up at the 10. Out to the 15, to the 20, and gets bottled up around the 25-yard line. Somehow that kick stayed in bounds on the far sideline.
Now, they were trying to wait. I don't see who the receiver was. I don't know if that was Verslot or not. Trying to wait for it to bounce out of bounds, but it never. Got right by the out of bounds yard line and stayed right in the grass.
So 41 seconds to go in the half. I think that might add up a few more seconds here, or maybe they're just going to leave it. I think it's about 44 seconds or so. And they're just going to leave it at 41 seconds. 21-0, the lead for Wilmington. 41 seconds away from our Warren's Collision Center halftime show. See what the Comets do here in 1st and 10. The small hullabaloo in the press box. I think it fumbled the football. Looks like Reed Custer might have gotten it back, although it was a fumble on the snap. We'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Who do we credit with this thing here?
I think Reed Custer is going to take their time and probably go into the half here and try to regroup. Wilmington leads at 21-0, down to 15 seconds to go in the half. I don't even think Reed Custer is going to try to get a playoff here.
I couldn't blame him.
We'll see. Down to 5 seconds as they come up to the line. Transfeld under center. And that's going to do it for the half. So Wilmington leads at 21-0 at the break. Welcome into the Warren's Collision Center halftime show. We'll have your first half stats and a bunch of scores from around the area as well. Got some interesting scores to pass along to you, especially in the I-8. Take a break. Back with more in a moment. This is the Warren's Collision Center halftime show. Back in a second on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours, here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG Tech.com.
Teresa's Styling Salon in Wilmington is a casual, family-friendly salon that caters to people of all ages. Teresa's provides everything from haircuts to perms to manicures, and they can highlight or color your hair for that special look. Teresa's is located in the Southgate Plaza on Water Street in Wilmington. Call today for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955.
Phelan Acres Bible Church is the perfect place if you are looking for a church to call home. They have services every week, including Sunday school at 9:45, morning worship at 11, and Wednesday night prayer meetings at 7. Phelan Acres Bible Church is located at 26009 Willow Lane in Wilmington, Illinois. And for more information, call 815-476-7818. That's 815-476-7818. If you are looking for more information on Wilmington Wildcats football, then check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Each week, Coach Reentz goes over game film, takes questions from the audience, and presents the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Plus, you'll get to hang out with other Wildcat fans and get the inside scoop on next week's game. So be sure to check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. If you need something done around your house, chances are Beth's Busy Bees can get it done. They specialize in residential and commercial cleaning, but they can also do lawn care, small home remodeling and repair jobs, and even things like caregiving. Beth's Busy Bees is a small family-owned business, and they will treat you right every time. Call 815-685-9111 for Beth's Busy Bees today.
Twenty-one nothing the lead for Wilmington over Reed Custer here at the break. Welcome into the Warren's Collision Center halftime show here on the Christian Internet Sports Network. A half that's been kind of odd. We've seen a little bit of everything tonight. The Cats lead at 21 nothing, but outside of a couple of big plays tonight, Reed Custer has been right in the game. Now, Wilmington had a couple of big runs that opened things up a little bit. The Comets have moved the football. They've been just about even in time of possession. They've been in the game for the most part, but the Cats, a few big plays, and now all of a sudden it's a 21-0 lead.
Right. McWilliams had a 54-yard run. You had Southall had a 50-yard run, a 34-yard run, so there's 134 yards, 137 yards in 3 runs, and so that made a great deal difference. And they had one nice pass play too. They gained a big yard. So what happened to Reed Custer is they've been bit by the big play bug.
All right, so offensive stats tonight. First of all, for Reed Custer in that first half, rushing the football. Mason Dransfeld ran the ball 5 times for 10 yards. Tommy Shaw, 5 rushing attempts for negative 13 yards. Of course, we factor in sacks as well. John Costain, 2 rushes for 2 yards. Don Versalat has 8 carries for 47 yards tonight. Brennan Hoger, 1 carry for negative 2 yards. Vincent Versalat, 1 carry for 0 yards. And Brad Smith had 1 carry for 2 yards. On the night, Reed Custer, 23 rushes for 46 yards. Now, of course, if you take away the sacks, they probably have closer to 60, 65 yards rushing in a half, which doesn't sound like a lot. But when you're getting them at 3 or 4 yards a clip and getting a couple first downs here and there, it eats up clock in a hurry.
Yeah, the first part of the second quarter, they ate up 5 minutes of the first part of the second quarter. Wilmington never touched the ball. So, yeah, they're doing what they want to do. They're eating the clock. The only problem was that they do need some scores.
So passing the football tonight, the Comets are 2 of 3 for 10 yards. Mason Dransfeld, 1 reception for 12 yards. Don Versalat, 1 reception for negative 2 yards. So 10 yards receiving, 46 yards rushing, 56 yards of total offense for Reed Custer in that first half. So not a huge amount by any means, but they have managed to pick up some first downs and kind of eat up some clock. But Wilmington with the big runs and big plays is what kind of blew things open here.
Yeah, that's exactly what Reed Custer wanted to avoid. They've done the first part of what they want to do, hang on to the ball and eat up some clock. The problem is they have given up three big gains that resulted in 3 touchdowns, puts them down 21-0 at halftime. And when you're a triple option club, that 21 points is awfully hard to come back with.
Rushing the football tonight for Wilmington, Mason Southall, 2 rushing attempts for 84 yards and a touchdown. Nick Hawkins, 10 rushing attempts for 59 yards and 2 touchdowns tonight. Gavin Hawks ran the ball 1 time in that first half for 0 yards. Nick McWilliams, 4 carries for 59 yards in the first half. Wilmington, 17 rushing attempts, 202 yards on the ground, and 3 touchdowns. The Cats through the air, Mason Southall is 2 of 4 for 44 yards. Joe Mann, 1 reception for 12 yards. Alex Lomi, 1 reception for 32 yards. The Cats, 202 yards on the ground, 44 in the air, 246 yards of offense in the first half for Wilmington. And I would say probably 150 of those have come on 3 plays.
You're exactly right. 157 yards of it came on 3 plays, I believe. So you're absolutely right.
Well, the Cats lead it 21-0 with 8:18 to go here at halftime. So we're probably about 11 minutes away from the start of our second half. The Cats lead it by 3 touchdowns. We'll take a break, come back. We've got scores from all over the area. We've got some really, really interesting I-8 scores to get to here in just a moment. You're listening to the Wilmington Wildcats halftime show brought to you by Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair here on the Christian Internet Sports Network. Warren's Collision Center is your hometown body shop specializing in top-of-the-line customer service. Warren's accepts all insurance companies, and they offer free estimates, certified technicians, and a lifetime written warranty. Plus, Warren's will set you up with a rental car while your vehicle is in the shop. So the next time you need work done on your vehicle, call my good friend Warren at 815-458-3300 or stop by Warren's Collision Center at 242 North Front Street in Braidwood. You can also check them out online at warrenscollision.com. Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair. Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 30 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com or call 815-521-0900. Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria in downtown Coal City is an authentic Italian restaurant that's all about sharing great food in a relaxing atmosphere. Ricchetti's has delicious paninis, sandwiches, calzones, salad, pasta, and of course their incredible pizza. Plus, you can check out a game on one of their many TVs, and they have Wi-Fi too. Stop by Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria today at 375 South Broadway in Coal City. ACN Representative Pete Treby has a very simple way for you to save money on your monthly bills. All you have to do is go to Pete's website and fill out the free analysis form. Then Pete will show you a detailed way to save money on everything: wireless, satellite TV, high-speed internet, local and long distance, computer support, and coming soon, save money on energy. Go to the sponsors page on this website, click on ACN Representative Pete Treby's link, fill out the free analysis form, and start saving money today. 21-0 is the lead for Wilmington over Reed Custer here at the break. This is the Warren's Collision Center halftime show where they care beyond the repair. Hey, you're slacking off in your duties. We'll get to scoring updates from around the area here in just a moment. Wilmington leads at 21-0 tonight over Reed Custer on a few big plays that have kind of blown this game open a little bit, but it's been closer for the most part than that score indicates. Well, some scores from around the area. First of all, other scores in the I-8. Somehow I don't believe this, but they say it's true. Westmont 48-14 lead on Lisle. So Westmont is up 48-14 on Lisle in the third quarter. They scored 34 points in the first quarter, which seems a little insane to me. But
we have never known a Westmont team to score that many points since we've been here.
Plano a 13-0 lead on Coal City with 3 minutes to go in the half. Kind of more or less what you'd expect there. Herscher a 20, oh boy, I lost my score here. Herscher a 27-7 lead over Seneca in the second quarter. Again, not overly shocking there.
No.
Mantino, though, up on Streeter 29-7 with 2:18 to go in the half. So Mantino's just been rolling this year, and they continue to with a 29-7 lead on Streeter. There's a sandwich score down there somewhere. Piatone up on Sandwich 7-0. That game at halftime. So again, Mantino up on Streeter 29-7. Herscher leads Seneca 27-7. Plano up 13-0 on Coal City. And Westmont blowing out Lisle tonight 48-14. Westmont is the next team on the schedule for Wilmington, and we'll get you some more scoring updates here in just a moment. Okay, from the rest of the area, that was the I-8. This is the rest of the area scores here at the half. Joliet Catholic losing 14-13 to St. Viator tonight. I believe that's at the half. Lincoln Way up on LaSalle Peru 21-10. That's Lincoln Way East. Oswego East trailing Plainfield East 7-6. All these scores are at the half, I do believe. Oswego a 28-7 lead on Minooka. Plainfield North 28-14 up on Plainfield South. Plainfield Central leads Romeoville 19-14. Joliet West a 14-3 lead on Sandburg. What? A team from Joliet Public School is still winning a game. 14-3 up on Sandburg, and Providence a 23-0 lead in their game tonight, too. I can't make out who that opponent is, but all those scores are at the half. So now you're up to date on all the I-8 scores. You're up to date on all the area scores as well. We've got about 5 minutes before the start of half number 2 here tonight. The Cats lead it 21-0 over Reed Custer. And what's been kind of an odd half. Oh, by the way, Westmont now 48-21 up on Lisle with 7 minutes to go in the third.
So Lyle's begin to make their way back.
They got a long way to go to get back to that.
27 more points, yeah.
By the way, we'll be with you up in Westmont next week. It's always weird. We're outside. They have a tiny press box there. We got to broadcast the game outside.
But they do have Bubba's.
They do have Uncle Bub's barbecue. Uncle Bub's barbecue about 10 minutes away from the football field. So if you're making a trek up there next week,
it's worth it.
Stop by Uncle Bub's. We'll be there, I don't know, 5-ish or so before the game next week. So stop by, say hi, if you know who we are. And stop by and say hi at Uncle Bub's next week, because that's where we'll be before game time up at Westmont. And wait, it won't be 7:15 next week. I forgot. I forgot to kind of edit myself here. The game, there's only one game next week.
Oh.
There's no JV at Westmont. I believe, I'll have to double check this, I believe they play a 7 o'clock game. Only varsity. So that means our pregame show will kick off about 6:40 or so. So it'll be an earlier pregame show next week. I believe kickoff will be at 7. I have to remember to say that the entire second half now.
Oh, you
Next week at Westmont, there is no JV game. I forgot about that.
We better be
it's
praying
just
for
a varsity game.
Some good weather, because we're probably going to be out in the bleachers in the middle of nothing out there. So.
All right, let's take ourselves one more break. We'll come back with your second half in just a moment. 21-0 the lead for Wilmington, about 4 minutes away from the start of half number 2. You've been listening to the Warren's Collision Center halftime show. Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair, right over there in Braidwood. We'll take a break. Back with their second half in just a moment. This is the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours, here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG-tech.com.
Teresa's Styling Salon in Wilmington is a casual, family-friendly salon that caters to people of all ages. Teresa's provides everything from haircuts to perms to manicures, and they can highlight or color your hair for that special look. Teresa's is located in the Southgate Plaza on Water Street in Wilmington. Call today for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955.
Phelan Acres Bible Church is the perfect place if you are looking for a church to call home. They have services every week, including Sunday school at 9:45, morning worship at 11, and Wednesday night prayer meetings at 7. Phelan Acres Bible Church is located at 26009 Willow Lane in Wilmington, Illinois. And for more information, call 815-476-7818. That's 815-476-7818. If you are looking for more information on Wilmington Wildcats football, then check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Each week, Coach Rinks goes over game film, takes questions from the audience, and presents the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Plus, you'll get to hang out with other Wildcat fans and get the inside scoop on next week's game. So be sure to check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's.
21-0 is the lead for Wilmington over Reed Custer. Here as we get set to start half number 2. Wilmington will receive to start the second half. The Cats put together a few big plays in the second quarter to spread the lead out a little bit, but for the most part, Reed Custer has played it pretty close. Their defense has given up a few big plays. If their offense can stop with the penalties, the Comets might be able to hang on to the football a little bit longer. But it seems like they just keep getting one penalty after another and just can't seem to put a drive together.
Yeah, that's crucial for their offense. They need to hang on to the ball. They've done a good job when they've had, except for the penalties. The penalties have really killed them. And Wilmington has done what they've needed to do, and that is they've come out with the big plays. The big plays have scored them touchdowns against a team that wants to run and control the ball. That's what you want to do, is put the points up on the board, and then you've got them in a place where they have to run, and where they have to do something besides run the ball, and that makes it tough.
So 21-0 is the lead for Wilmington here over Reed Custer. We'll get set to kick off the second half here momentarily. Again, be sure to join us next week as Wilmington will be on the road at Westmont. There's no JV game next week, just a varsity game that I believe starts at 7. I'll have to double check it. Be sure to keep checking back to the website to find out exactly when that game's going to start, but I believe it's at 7 o'clock. If it is at 6:40, we will kick off Wilmington Wildcats Weekly, and we'll get things going there as Breezer Construction Company will bring you Wilmington Wildcats Weekly next week, I believe, at 6:40.
Well, maybe we'll get done a little bit earlier next weekend then.
Oh, I wouldn't count on it the way this year has gone. So the ball will be teed up at the 40. Reed Custer will be kicking off right to left to start our second half.
Well, this is the way Coach likes it. He likes to start the second half with the ball.
John Costain will tee it up at the 40 for the Comets.
Tell you what, when we watched this Comets team, Don Versalat has impressed us with his running ability.
And I believe it's Hawks and Hawkins back deep for Wilmington at the 20-yard line. Must not be expecting Mr. Costain to kick this ball any too far. So John Costain will approach eventually here and get this third quarter underway. There's a line drive back to the 17, picked up there by, maybe this is Breimer. It is Breimer out across the 35 to the 40 on a nice return. Not originally it was Hawks, but it is Tyler Breimer with the return out to the 40. Wilmington will start there, 1st and 10. Well, if you're the Cats, you want to see a couple of quick scores and then get your starters off the field. Keep everybody intact.
That's what you'd like
no
to
more
do.
Injuries. Let's face it, Wilmington has had plenty of injury problems coming into tonight.
When you count the injury problems with the sicknesses, and it's not been a good time for him. But
Del Angel, who's probably one of the better defensive linemen, has not played tonight because of a slight concussion. Casaneri's out tonight as well. Austin Hedrick has had an injury problem. He's dressed, but he's not really playing too much yet. Out of the gun is Southall, handoff to Hawkins, and he met a wall at the line of scrimmage and doesn't go anywhere.
He tried to stick his head in there and push his way through. There were 3 big Reed Custer linemen, and they never let him make an ounce. He's right back, no gain.
Dan Collins, 6 foot, 210-pound junior, along with Stephen Podkolski, a 6'4", 240-pound junior, combine those stop for Reed Custer. You get that kind of size, it's hard to move them out of the way. 2nd and 10 for Wilmington from their own 41. 11:20 to go in the third. 21-0 is the lead for Wilmington. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the far side for the Cats. 1 wingback, 1 fullback. Southall swing pass across to Hawkins to the 40, to the 45. Skips a tackle across midfield, down to the 45, and finally shoved out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Good catch and run from Hawkins off the pass from Southall. A gain of 15 yards and a Wilmington first down to the Reed Custer 44-yard line.
Mason Dransfield looked like he had him with a short gain, and he just kind of hurtled right over the top of him and kept right on going.
1st and 10 for the Cats from the 44 of Reed Custer. 14-0 the lead now for Piatone over Sandwich. Boy, Sandwich continues to struggle. 2 receivers to the near side. Out of the gun is Southall again. 1st and 10 from the 44 of Reed Custer. Handoff McWilliams, far side. Cuts it back down to the 40 and shoves ahead to the 39-yard line. A gain of close to 5. Bring up 2nd and 5 for Wilmington. Boy, and Seneca's just getting rolled tonight by Herscher. That's kind of surprising. 34-7 the lead for Herscher over Seneca. Of course, Seneca, let's face it, hasn't played the toughest of opponents.
No,
to this point.
Undefeated, but they have played a very light schedule.
They played Dwight, then they played some school called Nokomis, and then had Reed Custer last week. Second down and 5 for the Cats from the 39 of Reed Custer out of the gun again. Southall drops back, looks near side, fires deep down the sideline for Hawkins. Incomplete. Boy, good coverage out there by Don Versalat.
I guess that was.
The 20-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Cats.
Heard the term step-by-step coverage. That was it. He was step-by-step, matched him all the way down the field.
10-18 to go in the third. Wilmington leads at 21-0. In what's been one of the faster games of the year. It seems weird saying it's 9 o'clock and it's early, but we've been getting out of games at 11 and midnight every week.
Yeah, we've had some late hours.
So 3rd and 5 for the Cats. Now back to the traditional double wing, and we've got a timeout, I believe, to Wilmington. Boy, that just looked like a disaster.
You got down to 2 seconds, and they weren't ready to roll yet. So
timeout to the Cats. 3rd and 5 upcoming for Wilmington. 10-18 to go in the third. 21-0. Wilmington leads. Back with more Cats football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
If you need something done around your house, chances are Beth's Busy Bees can get it done. They specialize in residential and commercial cleaning, but they can also do lawn care, small home remodeling and repair jobs, and even things like caregiving. Beth's Busy Bees is a small family-owned business, and they will treat you right every time. Call 815-685-9111 for Beth's Busy Bees today.
So Wilmington will have it 3rd and 5 from the 39-yard line of Reed Custer with 10-18 to go in the third, and Wilmington leading at 21-0. By the way, another new score to pass along. Mantino 29-15 over Streeter at halftime. So Streeter's put another touchdown on the board, and one of the interesting scores we're keeping track of tonight. Gavin Hawks back in there at fullback. McWilliams and Hawkins at wingback. Back to the traditional double wing for the Cats here with Southall under center. 3rd and 5 for the Cats from the 39 of Reed Custer. And there's a flag. I believe we got an illegal shift on Wilmington. That just looked weird right off the bat. Illegal procedure technically, and make it 3rd and 10 for the Cats.
That did look bad. That marks them back.
Boy, the last, before they used the timeout, that looked like that was going to be a mess. And they use a timeout, and then
it
still a mess.
Yeah, it was just totally discombobulated.
Well, 3rd and 10 now for the Cats from the 44 of Reed Custer. 2 receivers out to the near side. Southall now under center. 3rd and 10 for Wilmington. Southall drops back to pass. Looking right side, pressured, and he's going to be sacked all the way back at the 45 of Wilmington. Boy, what pursuit by Reed Custer. Jordan Caldwell on the sack, and that's a loss of 10 more. So it'll be 4th and 20 for Wilmington, back at their own 46. 9:54 and counting here in the third quarter, with Wilmington leading at 21-0.
Wind is getting cold out there.
Well, that's not exactly. They wanted the first drive of the third quarter to go here, Wilmington.
No.
That just kind of sputtered to a stop. So now Kirchner set to punt for the Cats. And kick here, beautiful kick, all the way back to the 20. That looked like a fair catch. And then they ended up running Versalat across the 40 out to the 44-yard line on a return of 24 yards. That should have been a fair catch. He called for a fair catch and then took off with the football.
Yeah, they got everybody yelling about
the
it.
The Wilmington coaching staff said, well, come on, he put his hand up in the air. That's why we stopped playing. I mean, it was a nice return, but it's aided by the fact that he called for a fair catch and then took off with the football. I don't know. I mean, they didn't call him for it, so it's got to stand, I would think.
Well, this one ref was standing back here at that yard line waiting. I think he's got it called.
It certainly looked like he called for a fair catch. That's what it looked like.
Oh, they're going to let it go.
Well, that's pretty terrible. I don't know, but that's so 1st and 10 for Reed Custer from the 44-yard line. But
That is
not
crazy.
good. 1st and 10 for the Comets. Let's see if they can take advantage of some field position here. One receiver to the near side. In motion is Versalot. Handoff goes to the fullback, and that picks up a couple of yards. Not a whole lot there. Good job by the Cats defense to kind of collapse in on it. I believe that's John Costain on the carry. Bring up 2nd and 8 for Reed Custer.
Oh.
A 2nd down and 8 upcoming for Reed Custer. Again, in motion. Versalon out of the double wing. Keeping it is Transfelt, and he might go inside the 30 to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown Reed Custer. Wow. 59-yard touchdown run for Mason Dransfeld, and that makes it 21-6 Wilmington with 8:31 to go in the third. Well, this third quarter has been, you want to talk about sputtering to a start for the Cats. Offensively, they moved the ball a little bit, then had to use a timeout, then had a legal procedure penalty, then gave up a sack, punted the ball away, and Reed Custer aided by what looked like a fair catch, but still had it out to the 44-yard line, and then from there, Transfelt goes all the way to the end zone. Snap a little bit high. The kick is good, and it's 21-7 Wilmington. 8:31 to go in the third. We'll take a break. Back with more Cats football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 30 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com or call 815-521-0900. Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria in downtown Coal City is an authentic Italian restaurant that's all about sharing great food in a relaxing atmosphere. Ricchetti's has delicious paninis, sandwiches, calzones, salad, pasta, and of course their incredible pizza. Plus, you can check out a game on one of their many TVs, and they have Wi-Fi too. Stop by Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria today at 375 South Broadway in Coal City.
21-7, the lead now for Wilmington. Reed Custer gets the football, aided by what looked like a fair catch that turned into about a 25-yard kick return or so. And the Comets turned that into 7 points off a Mason Transfelt run, and really, Mason's been most of Reed Custer's offense in the last few weeks. He's scored most of their points, and he does so again tonight.
One thing about it, they wanted to make this game closer. They did that in a hurry.
Hawkins takes it at the 16, across the 20 to the 30, 35, 40, out to the 45, and all the way out to the 49-yard line. Wow, what a return by Nick Hawkins. And it sets the Cats up with good field position at their own 49. If you're Wilmington, it's time to wake up a little bit.
They better do something. Tell you what, this Reed Custer team can't move the ball.
Well, and they've got speed. I mean, if they get out in the open field, if it's Transfelt or Versalot, if they get in the open field, good luck.
Those two guys can absolutely run the ball.
1st and 10 for the Cats from their own 49. Again, double wing for Wilmington. In motion, Hawkins gets the pitch off the right side, over midfield to the 45, breaks the tackle, down to the 40, and tripped up at the 38. A gain of 13 yards on the run by Nick Hawkins. Mason Dransfeld on the stop for Reed Custer.
Boy, Nick Hawkins has done a good job of carrying the ball today. First half, he averaged almost 6 yards a carry. Second half, he's right at it again, 6.5 a carry.
Well, I got a good feeling that the coaching staff was not happy with the way this third quarter started, and if Wilmington doesn't pick it up here soon like they've started to on this kickoff and drive.
They came out like they were not even wanting to play the second half. Like it was all over.
Back to the double wing for the Cats in motion. Hawkins gets a little pitch back inside the 40, breaks a tackle, 35-30, up the sideline to the 20, all the way down to about the 17-yard line. Nice run by Nick Hawkins.
Did a nice job of getting the corner here. They took up the sideline, and when he saw he had a little room, he lowered that head and just really laid on the steam.
A gain of, trying to see where they put the ball down at the 18-yard line. So about 24 yards or so, I believe, on the run from Hawkins. Trying to remember where the last line of scrimmage was. My mind went blank all of a sudden. 1st and 10 for Wilmington from the 18-yard line. Pitch back to McWilliams, breaks a tackle right up the middle, and touchdown Wilmington. And just like that, Nick McWilliams goes into the end zone for a score. Boy, you want to talk about striking in a hurry.
It looked like they came out and said, the coach said, now look here. Let's put your heads back in this game.
Well, that was relatively fast.
Boy.
And now Jacob Casillas on to attempt the extra point. 27-7 the lead now for Wilmington. Boy, I glanced down to write something down in my sheet, and next thing I know, McWilliams is going into the end zone. Snap is good, the hold good, and the kick by Casillas is good as well. 28-7 is the lead for Wilmington. 7:45 to go in the third. Take a break. Back with more Cats football in a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
ACN representative Pete Treby has a very simple way for you to save money on your monthly bills. All you have to do is go to Pete's website and fill out the free analysis form. Then Pete will show you a detailed way to save money on everything: wireless, satellite TV, high-speed internet, local and long distance, computer support, and coming soon, save money on energy. Go to the sponsors page on this website, click on ACN Representative Pete Treby's link, fill out the free analysis form, and start saving money today. Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG tech.com.
Short kickoff taken at the 24-yard line, and it's going to stay right there by Nick Urban. So the Cats on
good coverage.
Good special teams coverage. Reed Custer will start 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. And last time around, Mason Dransfeld went for 50-plus yards on a touchdown run on a quarterback keeper. And they did that in a hurry.
They sure did. I'm interested to see if the same fire the Wildcats showed in offense, they're going to show in defense now.
By the way, a great defensive battle going on in Westmont tonight. One receiver to either side, 1st and 10 for the Comets. Pitch goes to the outside. Versalot trying to get the corner. He had some room, but good pursuit by Mason Southall to drop him, but not before a gain of about 6 yards on the run for Versalot. Bring up 2nd down and 4 for Reed Custer. It's 55-35 Westmont over Lyle in the third quarter.
What?
It's the third quarter, and it's 55-35. I mean, there's nobody playing defense up there, but one receiver to either side. Again, Transfell under center, keeps it, pitches it near side. Versalot trying to get the corner, goes nowhere. Wow, what a nice play by Alex Zlomi to drop him at the 33-yard line.
Wrong guy to run into, Alex Zlomi. He will take you down right where you stand.
Picked up a couple of yards that'll bring up 3rd down and 2 for Reed Custer from their own 33. Boy, now that's a tackle.
Well, it was. He looked like he had a hit of steam, and all at once, boom, down to the turf he went. Right around his shoulders, he just manhandled him.
So 3rd down and a couple here for Reed Custer. They go almost full house backfield here. It gets a version of the wishbone, keeping it as Transfield, trying to churn ahead. And
he got nowhere.
if it's
Maybe
based on the near side official's spot, he's going to be short. It'll be 4th down and less than a yard. And if you're in Custer, do you just go for it at this point? I mean, is it?
Who ran that ball that time?
It was Transfield on a keeper, and he got technically 2 yards, but not enough for the first down. I guess if you're in Custer, you go for it. If you don't get it here, you're leaving Wilmington pretty much easy pickings.
Well, you sure are.
And we've got an official's timeout for a measurement. How can you measure it when the football's on one side of the yard line and the marker's on the other?
Oh,
so they're going to measure this despite the football's literally on the right side of the line of the yard marker at the 35-yard line. The first down marker's on the left side of it.
Well, they got a pretty good mark last time by doing this, so I don't know.
I mean, it's not even close. It got to be half a yard. And it's one thing if it's within the same yard marker, like if there's no lines, but when there's a literal line, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, that was.
The Reed Custer coach, I believe, did not want to burn a timeout. And that being, I think, the plan there. Mark Wolf didn't want to burn a timeout and said, hey, could you go measure that for me while I figure out what I'm going to do here? And then they did it.
So. He just sent 2 subs in with the play, I guess.
It's been 30 seconds. Westmont scored again.
Oh, you're kidding.
62-35. It's ridiculous. So 4th down and less than a yard for Reed Custer. They're going to go for here, or at least try to draw Wilmington off sides, one or the other. We'll see if Wilmington stays on side this time. No, they go for it, and we've got a flag. There's a flag down, and I think it's delay of game.
And I think he didn't make it either.
I don't think he made it anyway, but it's
going to be awfully close. No, he didn't make it.
He didn't make it anyway.
He didn't get past the yard marker, so he didn't.
No matter what here, it's.
We'll refuse that, I hope.
Well, the thing is, delay of game should be a dead ball penalty.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, if it's a delay of game, then the play didn't count.
He definitely did not make it anyway. I mean, he's still short. We'll see what the call is here. No, it's a legal procedure.
Oh.
So that changes things a little bit. So it's a legal procedure is the penalty. Well, now I guess you measure it and decide if it's a first down or not. And if it's not, Wilmington's going to get the ball right there at the 35, and I don't think it is.
No, I don't. If they've got the change where it was last time, it's not a first down. No.
So it's an illegal procedure penalty. So I believe Wilmington will decline it, and Wilmington should take over at the 35.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I guess it did get enough for a first down, so they're going to back it up 5 yards. Well,
now that's crazy.
I don't know how in the world.
Look at that.
I know.
It's past the yard marker over there.
It doesn't make any sense.
Somebody has got something wrong somewhere.
So they got it to the first down marker apparently, barely, but it doesn't matter anyway. So the illegal procedure penalty will back it up to the 30 and make it 4th and 5, and now Reed Custer's going to punt anyway. So
now that ball never got past that white yard marker. It's still
reaching to the quad.
It's still over there. It's six inches past the white yard marker.
Kick here by Transfield. Another good kick back to the 40 of Wilmington. Taken there by Breimer. Makes a move to the outside across the 45 and gets stacked up at the 47. And another flag down. Well, let's see what this flag is for. Block in the back, apparently. Well, that'll back Wilmington up. So there goes the good field position.
That bothered me when he started to take off, stopped, turn around, went back the other way, and then start up field. That's usually when you get those blocks in the back like that.
So it'll be 32-yard line where Wilmington will start first and 10. They lead at 28-7 with 5:25 to go in the third quarter.
Now, get a nice, long, sustained drive, score a touchdown here, run this time off that clock, and take the wind out of everybody's sails here.
I formation for the Cats. That's McWilliams at tailback. Handoff McWilliams right side, slips to the ground across the 30 out to about the 32.
Yeah, he tried to change direction right at the last minute. He planted his right foot and took a turn to the left. His foot slid out from underneath him.
Gain of a yard, bring up 2nd and 9 for Wilmington. Hey, has Westmont scored in the last 18 seconds? Because that's just been ridiculous. 2nd down and 9 for Wilmington from their own 32-yard line, technically.
Williams has got 24 yards and 3 carries this half.
I formation again. McWilliams up the middle this time. Picks up a couple, but not a whole lot there. It'll bring up 3rd down and probably 6 for Wilmington. By the way, Piatone now up 27-0 on Sandwich. So difficulties for Sandwich continue.
Yeah, they've had a rough season so far this year.
It's 62-35 Westmont over Lyle, and it's still not the end of the third quarter.
Oh, man. They must not be playing any defense at all.
3rd down and 6 upcoming for Wilmington. They stay in the I formation here. Coming up on 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Southall drops back to pass, pressured from the backside. Gets a block by Hawks in the backfield. Pass down the near sideline, incomplete. Joe Mann come over there. I think it was initially intended for Salome, but either way, a couple of nice comeback for Mann, and then Salome up the sideline. Good block from Hawks to save Southall a little bit. There's a flag down right here on the near sideline.
Oh, another one?
I can't imagine what this, unless he went over the line of scrimmage, but the line of scrimmage is way up at the 35-yard line.
Unless the receiver went out of bounds and back in. I don't know. Oh, sideline.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on, guys.
I swear, if we get another sideline warning, there's roughing the passer on Reed Custer, too. Well, the roughing the passer will give Wilmington a 1st down off the 15-yard penalty from the 35-yard line. But Reed Custer has been called for 2 sideline warnings tonight, enough to be penalized for it. Wilmington's been called for a sideline warning tonight, and that's the first time we've seen it called all year. And there's been 3 in one game now.
It's like they came with their flags loose in their pockets here. I don't know.
Well, the 15-yard roughing the passer penalty will give Wilmington 1st and 10 from midfield. Ball's literally on the 50-yard line.
Okay.
28-7 lead for Wilmington. 2 receivers to the near side. Southall out of the shotgun. That's Hawkins and Salome to the near side. 1st and 10 from midfield for the Cats. Southall swing pass over to Hawkins, basically a wide receiver screen. Hurdles a defender down to the 43-yard line before he's tripped up. Well, what a run by Hawkins. Only gained about 7 or 8 yards. That's a pretty run. So Hawkins just hurtled right over the top of Dransfeld to bring up 2nd down and 3 after a gain of 7 on the wide receiver screen.
It's the same guy he did it to on the opposite side of the field earlier. And he got
I don't know what Dransfeld did.
He got up complaining.
Said, he jumped over yet.
Wow.
What could possibly be
like he was saying it's not
illegal
fair
about that?
No, it was just a great hurling job.
So 2nd down and 3 for Wilmington from the 43-yard line of Reed Custer. 2 receivers to the near side. Out of the gun again is Southall. Takes the snap, and we got a flag down. Hey, look, it's a flag. And legal procedure on Wilmington, I do believe. So it goes from 2nd and 3 to 2nd and 8. How many flags have there been tonight?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against Wilmington.
That's accepted, right?
Yes, that's accepted. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 against Reed Custer. 2 of them not accepted.
So there's been 7 accepted penalties against Wilmington, 10 against Reed Custer, and 17. We've had a few penalties that were declined.
Yeah.
Holy cow. 2 receivers to the far side. Southall out of the gun again, 2nd and 8 from the Reed Custer 48-yard line. Mason going to keep it himself, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle at the 45, and then can't shake free. Picked up about 3. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5 for Wilmington from the 45 of Reed Custer. 3 minutes to go in the third, 28-7 Wilmington.
Clock not running very fast, is it? It's only down to 2:56 in the.
Well, we've had
they got the ball. Well, they got the ball.
a penalty every other play, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, good grief!
What happened?
Lyle scored again. So it's 62-42.
62. Well, they're keeping up their pace.
62-42, and they just started the fourth quarter. So 2 receivers to the near side. Out of the gun again is Southall. 3rd and 5 from the 45. Southall, little pump and go deep down the sideline from Salome. And that's intercepted by Transfeld down at the 10. Boy, that did not, something didn't go right there for Mason Southall. That thing was a little bit underthrown to the inside, and Transfeld did a nice job picking off the pass. Effectively, though, that works like a very good punt. Reed Custer had the ball 1st and 10 from their own 10. It was 3rd and 5 anyway, so Wilmington would have been forced to punt if they didn't pick up the first down.
Would have almost been better off to knock the ball down.
Almost, yeah, almost. You would have gotten better field position out of the punt, that's for sure.
I think you would have.
So 1st and 10 for Reed Custer from their own 10.
Wasn't a good pass. He thought that wasn't anywhere near the receiver.
Yeah, he just got it to the inside a little bit. But like we said, it was 3rd and 5 anyway. He went ahead and went deep. If it gets picked off, it works like a punt anyway. So, yeah, timeout on the play. Timeout to Reed Custer. 2:25 to go in the third. 28-7 the lead for Wilmington. Take a break. Come back with more Cats football in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Teresa's Styling Salon in Wilmington is a casual, family-friendly salon that caters to people of all ages. Teresa's provides everything from haircuts to perms to manicures, and they can highlight or color your hair for that special look. Teresa's is located in the Southgate Plaza on Water Street in Wilmington. Call today for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955.
Phelan Acres Bible Church is the perfect place if you are looking for a church to call home. They have services every week, including Sunday school at 9:45, morning worship at 11, and Wednesday night prayer meetings at 7. Phelan Acres Bible Church is located at 26009 Willow Lane in Wilmington, Illinois. And for more information, call 815-476-7818. That's 815-476-7818.
Handoff goes up the middle to Jordan Caldwell for the Comets. Picks up maybe 2, bring up 2nd and 8 for Reed Custer from their own 12. 2 minutes to go in the third. 28-7 is the lead for Wilmington. So 1 receiver to the near side for Reed Custer. Again, double wing for the Comets. Again, delay of game. Looked like Tommy Shaw was going to keep it that time, but did not get the snap off in time. So a delay of game on Reed Custer will back him up some more. 1:39 to go in the third.
If we hadn't all those penalties, we would be in the fourth quarter by now.
I'd say we'd be going home by now if we didn't have
we keep stopping the clock all the time for penalties, and this running the game is not helping the clock to move because we get to the penalties.
1 receiver to the far side, 2nd down and 13. And that goes absolutely nowhere. Maybe a gain of a yard or 2, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, quarterback draw.
I believe it was Transfelt on the carry for Reed Custer to bring up 3rd down and 12. Got maybe a yard.
I'll put him down for 1.
Reminder to join us next week from Westmont Just a varsity game, no JV. I believe the varsity kick is at 7, so our pregame will be at 6:40 next week. Be sure to check back to the site for any updates on that. Westmont in a scoring spree tonight with Lyle, 62-42 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. One receiver to the far side, one back to the near. And pitch comes on the reverse back to the far side, taken by Jordan New. Breaks a tackle out across the 20 to the 23-yard line.
Wow, nice run. He got away from two different tacklers.
Gain of 15 yards by Jordan New. I think it was a reverse. Ended up being pitched in the opposite direction. And will be 1st and 10 for the Comets out to the 23-yard line of Reed Custer. That going to your bag of tricks.
I don't even have a Jordan New.
So 1st and 10 for the Comets in the 23. One receiver to the near side. And this goes up the middle again. Good chunk of yards, close to 6 yards on the run for Reed Custer. I believe that was Dransfeld again. Bring up 2nd down and 4 for Reed Custer. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. 28-7 is the lead for Wilmington. We'll head to quarter number 4 in a moment. You're listening to Cats Football here on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
If you're looking for more information on Wilmington Wildcats football, then check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Each week, Coach Reentz goes over game film, takes questions from the audience, and presents the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Plus, you'll get to hang out with other Wildcat fans and get the inside scoop on next week's game. So be sure to check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. If you need something done around your house, chances are Beth's Busy Bees can get it done. They specialize in residential and commercial cleaning, but they can also do lawn care, small home remodeling and repair jobs, and even things like caregiving. Beth's Busy Bees is a small family-owned business, and they will treat you right every time. Call 815-685-9111 for Beth's Busy Bees today.
Start of quarter number 4, 28-7 is the lead for Wilmington over Reed Custer. The Comets moving the ball a little bit here, though. 2nd down and 4 for Reed Custer from their own 29-yard line. Again, Transfeld under center. One receiver to the far side. Double wing for the Comets. Pitch comes near side, and that's going to be bottled up for nothing. Maybe a loss of 3 or 4 on the play. Vincent Versalot was on the carry. Alex Zlomi out there to blow that thing up in a hurry.
Boy, he had those eyes on him, man. He was coming after him.
So a loss of about 5 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 9 for Reed Custer.
Was that Versalot?
That's the Vincent Versalot on the carry for Reed Custer. So 2 receivers to the far side. Again, Dransfeld under center. 3rd down and 9 for the Comets. Double wing once again for Reed Custer. In motion was Hoger. Now he'll go back and set. In motion, Versalot. And Dransfeld keeping it himself, and he gets hammered at the 27-yard line or so. Joe Mann on the tackle. Gain of a couple. It'll bring up 4th down. We'll give him 3 yards. Bring up 4th down and 6 for Reed Custer. One thing this offense does for the Comets is it keeps you in every game, because if you can get a first down or two, you chew up a lot of clock.
You certainly do. You keep it away from that other offense, and boy, you keep yourself in good shape.
Dransfeld's kick here near sideline goes out of bounds right at midfield.
49-yard line.
Almost exactly at midfield, and they'll mark it at the 49 of Reed Custer. 10:34 to go in the game. 28-7 is the lead for Wilmington. They'll get it back here. The Cats, you really like to see 1 or 2 more scores tonight.
Yes, you would.
End this night with a little bit of momentum going into next week. I think the game is not in doubt here as far as who's going to win this thing, but you'd like to see it kind of stretch out a little bit and end the game on a good note. Two receivers to the far side, one to the near, under center, Southall. Handoff up the middle to Hawks. Bangs his way down to the 45-yard line of Reed Custer. Will bring up 2nd down and 6 after the gain of 4 by Gavin Hawks.
Nice quick hitter up the middle there by Hawks.
Breimer checks back into the lineup, replacing Hawks. Remember, Del Angel is normally the backup fullback and also a starting defensive lineman. He's not playing tonight. So 2 receivers to the far side. McWilliams shifts to fullback here, and the wingback is Breimer. Out of the gun is Southall. 2nd down and 6 from the 45 of Reed Custer. Swing pass far side is
what happened?
Incomplete. Or is he down? Oh, it's cool.
He must have gone down and hit his knee.
Well, I don't know if they said it was a. I can't figure out if they called it a catch or not.
Well, and who caught it?
I think they said Zalomi might have caught it, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 6, but nobody said if he caught it or not.
9:41. Okay.
So did he catch it or not catch it? They initially spotted it like he caught it, but if they're going to back the clock up, then it was an incomplete pass, right?
Right.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
So what do we do?
Well, we'll wait and see what they do with this here. If they're going to reset it to 9:41, it means they should have stopped the clock. But if he caught the ball, the clock doesn't stop. Well, we'll see if they wind it or not. If they wind it, it was a catch, I guess. I don't know. If they're winding the clock, then what was the point in stopping it and Okay, whatever. Southall out of the gun, 3rd down and close to 7 for Wilmington. Mason rolls near side, looking downfield, fires deep down the sideline. That's intercepted. At the 20, out to the 27-yard line goes Tommy Shaw. And Reed Custer will take over 1st and 10 from their own 26. And Mason just threw that into coverage.
Yeah.
Tommy Shaw had perfect coverage out there, and Mason tried to force it in, and Tommy picked off the pass. Well, I don't understand any of that clock situation at all.
I'm going to give him -1 on the catch.
Why are you resetting the clock if you're going to start it again? Because you didn't need to stop it to begin with then. If he caught the ball, it wasn't a 1st down. No. I don't get that at all. That made absolutely no sense. So 1 receiver to either side, 1st and 10 for Reed Custer from their own 25-yard line. Pitch goes far side. This is Versalot trying to get the corner, and Vincent gets hammered at the 26-yard line. Give him maybe a yard or 2, and that's it. Bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Comets. So Vincent Versalon on a 1-yard run makes it now 2nd and 9 for Reed Custer. 2 receivers split out to the near side.
All right, here we go.
There's center, and there's 2 backs in motion again for Reed Custer. Dransfeld gets slammed to the ground, loss of a yard or 2 on the play.
Well, one thing about Reed Custer is there's no question that there's a penalty. I mean, they didn't have a lot of those with 2 backfields going at the same time.
Legal shift on the Comets with 2 backs in motion. 8:37 to go in the game. It's 28-7 Wilmington. They'll decline this penalty, make it 3rd and 11.
There's Dennis out there shooting the breeze with the referee over there, but they're laughing over there. I don't know.
There's been a few times tonight I would like to know a couple explanations. 2 receivers to the near side, 3rd and 11 for the Comets. Again, that run up the middle off that left side will bring up 4th down and long as Mason Dransfeld picks up a couple of yards. And it'll bring up 4th down and long for Reed Custer. Again, Wilmington needs to end this game on some sort of a positive note.
They have had one drive, one time, the big long play, and that's it. Second half they have done nothing.
Kick here is a line drive, and what a roll.
Wow.
All the way down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And there's another flag down, this time at the 17-yard line. I don't know what in the world could this be for. Running into the kicker? Whatever. It's declined, and Wilmington will take over 1st and 10 back at their own 30-yard line. That was,
I don't know.
wow, that's about 60-yard punt, pretty close to it.
Boy, it took a huge bounce down the field when it hit the ground.
50-plus yards anyway. Ball will be marked at the 29-yard line of Wilmington. Well, 7:47 to go in the game, and even though Wilmington's up 28-7, this one just doesn't feel that good at this point. I mean, just kind of sputtering to the end. I mean, anytime you get a win, you get a win. I mean, that's fine, but it doesn't feel like,
it don't give you a lot of satisfaction that you played a good game.
So 1st and 10 for the Cats, back to the double wing. And the pitch comes near side. McWilliams gets tripped up after a gain of a couple. Bring up 2nd down and 8 for the Cats. Ball out to the 31-yard line.
They haven't been able to run the ball well the second half, and they've thrown the ball up for grabs a couple times. So Wilmington's not done what they want to do and can't make the coach real pleased.
And the clock rolls down to 7:15 to go in the game. The Cats lead at 28-7. It's just been kind of a strange game at times.
Just really strange.
Southall out of the gun, 2 receivers to the near side. Mason takes the snap, swings it near side, caught by Salome. Out across the 30, 35 to the 40, and finally gets pushed out of bounds there.
He's a tough guy to bring down, isn't he?
As a gain of 10 yards on the pass from Southall to Salome. Good blocking on the outside by Hawkins as well. Either way, Plano up 13-7 on Coal City with 4:47 to go in the 4th.
13-7.
So the Kohlers hanging around up there in Plano.
If they could get them one last drive and score with an extra point, they could take it'd be a tie anyway. No, they could take a win. 14-13.
So 2 receivers out to the far side. Southall out of the gun again. 1st and 10 from the Wilmington 41. Southall takes the snap, going to keep it himself across the 45, dives out near midfield. A gain of about 9 yards.
Well, you got tackled for a
they're going to have it 2nd down and 2, so a gain of 8 on the run for Southall.
Southall got tackled on a sack, lost 10 yards. He got 9 back there and 3 others, so he's 2 yards to the good the second half, going on with 84 in the first half. Got 86 for the night.
Double wing again for the Cats, 2nd and 2 from almost the 49-yard line. Double wing again, Southall under center. Handoff on the end, or misdirection to McWilliams, gets the corner and gets dragged down at the 40 by Dransfeld, and that's going to be a horse collar, and that'll tack 15 yards on at the 39-yard line. So that's a gain of 12 on the run for McWilliams, and then you can tack on the horse collar penalty. And that'll move it all the way down to the 24 of Reed Custer.
He did that. He was going to score a touchdown, perhaps, if he didn't do that. So he could reach out and get one hand on this collar.
However you got to tackle him is how you tackle him. You worry about the penalty later.
And that's what happened. They're just trying to get him stopped.
So 1st and 10, Wilmington from the 23-yard line of Reed Custer.
13 penalties on Reed Custer. 2 of them were not accepted.
2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Southall again under center with Hawks in there at fullback. Handoff, Hawks right side, breaks it open inside the 20, down to the 10, and finally flung to the ground around the 7-yard line. A gain of 16 yards on the run for Gavin Hawks. First and goal for Wilmington from the 8.
It gives Gavin a 20-yard night so far tonight. 3 rushes for 20 yards. So he's almost the 7 yards of rush, 6.7 or something like that.
Well, if the Cats can get a score here, at least ends the night offensively on a good note. Double wing for Wilmington, first and goal from the 8. Pitch back to McWilliams, down to the 5, and he will go into the end zone for the score. 8-yard touchdown run for Nick McWilliams. That will make it 34-7, the lead for Wilmington with 5:17 to go. So Casillas will come on and attempt the extra point. And that will kind of put a little extra on this one tonight.
Oh, now that was a nice drive there. That's one Wilmington needed right there. They needed to get their feeling back, and their feet back on the ground again.
So Casillas on to attempt the extra point here. Good snap. And Hedrick a little bit high. Couldn't handle it. Rolls right side, and he will be dropped back at the 15 or so. It looked like it wasn't too bad of a snap. Maybe a little bit high into the outside, but Austin just couldn't get it put down fast enough. So.
And it was hiked back up to the right side of him and off behind his shoulder over there. And he didn't feel like he could swing it back around and get it down in time, so he picked up and ran with it, but there was nowhere to go.
And Austin Hedrick has an injured ankle, too. It comes off limping even more, and that's not what you want. The Cats are trying to get him back to play defense, and now he's being dropped, 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. In any case, 34-7 the lead for Wilmington, 5:17 to go in the game. Take a break. Back with more Cats football in a moment.
Warren's Collision Center is your hometown body shop specializing in top-of-the-line customer service. Warren's accepts all insurance companies, and they offer free estimates, certified technicians, and a lifetime written warranty. Plus, Warren's will set you up with a rental car while your vehicle is in the shop. So the next time you need work done on your vehicle, call my good friend Warren at 815-458-3300 or stop by Warren's Collision Center at 242 North Front Street in Braidwood. You can also check them out online at warrenscollision.com. Warren's Collision Center, where they care beyond the repair.
Casillas approaches again, a short kick down to the 27-yard line. Taken out across the 35 to near the 38-yard line. Reed Custer will start there, 1st and 10. I think the Cats have substituted in a couple of guys here. Southall stays over on the sideline. Kyle Davis stays on the sideline now as well. Not wholesale changes, but a few changes. Joe Mann also out of the lineup. First and 10 for Reed Custer from their own 38-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side. Transfelt under center. Handoff goes to the fullback up the middle. A nice run. Runs right over the top of Hawks. That's Jordan Caldwell on the carry. So he'll pick up about 7 and close to 8 yards on the run for Reed Custer.
We came through with a burst of power and went right over the top of Mr. Hawks.
About pretty much the entire defensive line is replacements except for, I believe, Vince Swift is still in there. About half and half between starters and subs for the Cats here. And handoff goes to the fullback up the middle, out to about midfield. A gain of close to 5 yards. It'll be enough for a Reed Custer first down. And again, Caldwell on the carry for the Comets. 4:30 to go in the game. Wilmington leads at 34-7. And Coal City just took the lead on Plano, 14-13. They were
They
trailing.
did.
They were trailing 13-0, then 13-7 with 5 minutes to go in the game, and now they're up 14-13 with 1:36 left.
Oh, see Coolwell getting that last run.
Good enough for the Coolers. 1st and 10 for Reed Custer from the 49-yard line, and we've got a timeout. They can't have very many left, can they? They've been burning through timeouts like crazy. 4:05 to go in the game. 34-7 is the lead for Wilmington. We'll take a break. Come back with more Cats football in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Breezer Construction Company is a proud supporter of Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network. For over 30 years, Breezer Construction Company has led the way in providing quality construction to the industrial, utility, and pipeline industries. For more information on Breezer Construction Company, go to breezerconstruction.com. That's breezerconstruction.com, or call 815-521-0900.
34-7 is the lead for Wilmington over Reed Custer. 4:05 to go in the game. Comets have it 1st and 10 from the Wilmington 49. Be sure to join us for our post-game show brought to you by ACN Representative Pete Treby. We'll have your final totals, some scores from around the area, and we'll talk with Coach Raints as well. That's the ACN Representative Pete Treby post-game show here on the Christian Internet Sports Network coming up in about 4 minutes or so. Handoff goes to the fullback again up the middle. Caldwell gets stacked up after a gain of 2. Bring up 2nd down and 8 for Reed Custer, and Wilmington shuttles in some more replacements here. Hawkins finally checks out as Noah Dwyer comes in for him. 3:40 and counting here in the fourth. One receiver to either side. Again, back to their version of the double wing. 2nd down and 8 for Reed Custer. Dransfeld keeps it, pitches at the outside, and it goes backwards. The pitch does. It's loose, and I think Wilmington might have it. We'll see who comes up with it. Is it the Cats? It is. Wilmington forces a turnover, and the Cats will take over 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line of Reed Custer. The pitch went behind the running back, kind of bounced around a little bit, and Wilmington got on top of it. So the Cats will have it 1st and 10 from the 48 of Reed Custer, and timeout to Wilmington, getting a bunch of subs into the lineup here down the stretch. And Coach Raints wants to use a timeout to make sure everybody's set and they know where to go here. 34-7 the lead for Wilmington, 3:19 to go in the game. Take a break. Back with the rest of the fourth in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria in downtown Coal City is an authentic Italian restaurant that's all about sharing great food in a relaxing atmosphere. Ricchetti's has delicious paninis, sandwiches, calzones, salad, pasta, and of course their incredible pizza. Plus, you can check out a game on one of their many TVs, and they have Wi-Fi too. Stop by Ricchetti's Cafe and Pizzeria today at 375 South Broadway in Coal City.
3:19 to go. 34-7 is the lead for Wilmington over Reed Custer. Angel Medina on the fumble recovery for Wilmington. So a little extra plug for Angel off the Fresh Soft team making fumble recovery. And now the Cats will take over 1st and 10 from the 48 of Reed Custer. Steve Smock back in there at quarterback tonight. Handoff goes to Breimer, far side, inside the 45-yard line, down to the 43. A gain of 5. Bring up 2nd down and 5 for the Cats. Be sure to stick around for our post-game show, brought to you by ACN Representative Pete Treby. And have your final stats. Talk to Coach Raints. We'll give you some scores from around the area as well. As the clock rolls, and Wilmington just a few minutes away from going 4-0.
Been a tough night in some ways.
So Spock under center. Handoff comes near side. I believe this is Weaver inside the 40 down to the 35-yard line. A gain of 8. It'll be a 1st down for Wilmington.
Weaver. Oh, here.
Believe it or not, the final from the Westmont game ended up being 62-42.
Oh. Oh, how many did Weaver get?
8 yards. It'll be a 1st and 10 for Wilmington from the 35 of Reed Custer.
We got that last score at the beginning of the fourth
That was
quarter.
it.
No more.
Huh?
Somebody
The defenses
decided
took a
we're worn
stand.
out. I don't know. 62-42, huh?
First and 10, Wilmington from the 35 of Reed Custer. Again, Smock leading the attack here. Handoff Breimer trying to bounce it to the outside. Stiff arms a defender and then manages to get a yard or so. Bring up 2nd and 9 for the Cats. Again, be sure to join us next week. Wilmington will be on the road at Westmont. Only one game next week. No JV game, one varsity game, I believe, set for 7 o'clock. Wilmington Wildcats Weekly will get underway at 6:40.
Oh,
Be sure to keep checking back to the website to make sure of that, but I think that's how it's going to be.
Jacob Casillas just came out. He's a kicker for the Wildcats. He was in that last play.
2nd and 9 for Wilmington from the 34 of Reed Custer, down to 1:20 to go. Handoff, fumble on the play, and Weaver gets back on top of it after a loss of 5 yards and bring up 3rd down and 14 for Wilmington. Down to 1:08 to go.
Well, 58 seconds and counting.
Yeah, the Cats just trying to get out of here healthy. They'll go to 4-0, down to 50 seconds to go. Cats will run one more play here, and it looks like Nick Durner in at quarterback for Wilmington now. Durner takes the snap and fumble on the play. Weaver gets back on top of it. No gain. Down to 30 seconds to go, and I believe that's going to be the end of this one. They're not even going to wind the clock, and that will be the final. 34-7 is the win tonight for Wilmington over Reed Custer. Be sure to stick around for our postgame show brought to you by ACM representative Pete Trevia. We'll give you all the stats from tonight's game, some scoring updates from around the area, and we'll talk to the head coach of the Cats, Jeff Reintz, as well. Take a break. Back with the ACN representative Pete Trevia postgame show here in just a moment on the Christian Internet Sports Network.
ACN representative Pete Trevia has a very simple way for you to save money on your monthly bills. All you have to do is go to Pete's website and fill out the free analysis form. Then Pete will show you a detailed way to save money on everything: wireless, satellite TV, high-speed internet, local and long distance, computer support, and coming soon, save money on energy. Go to the sponsors page on this website, click on ACN representative Pete Trevi's link, fill out the free analysis form, and start saving money today. Quigley Technology Services is your local source for computer help. They have built numerous websites, including ours here at the Christian Internet Sports Network. Quigley Technology Services also specializes in virus removal, so your computer will get back to full speed now. And you can trust them for first-class computer repair, including free local pickup and delivery, plus on-site service, including after hours. Contact Quigley Technology Services at 815-293-7844 or stop by at quigtech.com. That's QUIG Tech.com.
Teresa's Styling Salon in Wilmington is a casual, family-friendly salon that caters to people of all ages. Teresa's provides everything from haircuts to perms to manicures, and they can highlight or color your hair for that special look. Teresa's is located in the Southgate Plaza on Water Street in Wilmington. Call today for an appointment at 815-476-1955. That's 815-476-1955.
Phelan Acres Bible Church is the perfect place if you are looking for a church to call home. They have services every week, including Sunday school at 9:45, morning worship at 11, and Wednesday night prayer meetings at 7. Phelan Acres Bible Church is located at 26009 Willow Lane in Wilmington, Illinois. And for more information, call 815-476-7818. That's 815-476-7818. If you're looking for more information on Wilmington Wildcats football, then check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's. Each week, Coach Reentz goes over game film, takes questions from the audience, and presents the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards. Plus, you'll get to hang out with other Wildcat fans and get the inside scoop on next week's game. So be sure to check out the Catbackers every Wednesday at 7 at Tuffy's.
34-7 is the win tonight for Wilmington over Reed Custer. The Cats move to 4-0 on the year. Reed Custer drops to 0-4. Welcome into our postgame show brought to you by ACN Representative Pete Shrevey. Be sure to go to the sponsors link, click on his page, find out more about ACN and also about what Pete Shrevey does for them as well. And we'll be joined by Coach Reentz here in just a moment on the postgame show as soon as things wrap up down there on the field. We've got your final stats for you here in just a moment as well. As we figure those out here momentarily. Sure to join us next week. We'll be on the road up at Westmont. Believe no JV game next week. We'll just have a varsity game, and I believe that starts at 7 next week. So it's a Wildcats Weekly. It'll be a little bit earlier than that. Final totals here tonight. First of all, for the Reed Custer Comets, rushing the football, Mason Dransfeld, 11 rushing attempts for 83 yards and a touchdown. Tommy Shaw, 5 carries for minus 13 yards. That includes sacks as well. John Costain, 2 rushes for 2 yards. Don Versalot, 11 carries for 50 yards tonight. Brennan Hoger, 1 carry for negative 2 yards. Vincent Versalot, 2 carries for a yard. Brad Smith, 1 carry for 2 yards. Jordan Caldwell, 4 carries for 16 yards. And Jordan New, 1 carry for 15 yards tonight. On the night, Reed Custer, 38 rushing attempts, 154 yards, and a touchdown. The Comets through the air were 2 of 3 for 10 yards, 164 yards of offense for Reed Custer tonight. For Wilmington, quickly, Mason Southall, 5 rushing attempts for 86 yards and a touchdown. Nick Hawkins ran the ball 13 times for 96 yards and a couple of scores tonight. Gavin Hawks, 3 carries for 20 yards. Tyler Breimer had 6 yards on 2 carries. Nick McWilliams, a big night as well. 11 carries, 108 yards and 2 scores. Owen Weaver, 3 carries for 3 yards as well. The Cats tonight on the ground, 37 rushing attempts, 319 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's all rushing. Through the air, Mason Southall, 6 of 12 for 76 yards and a couple of interceptions. Nick Hawkins, 2 receptions for 23 yards. Joe Mann had 1 reception for 12 yards. And Alex Lomi, 3 receptions for 44 yards tonight. 395 yards of offense for Wilmington. They outgained Reed Custer 395 to 164. And joined now by the head coach of the Cats, Mr. Jeff Reentz. And, Coach, we finally got good weather tonight, number one. Right. And number 2, Reed Custer gave you a game tonight, which we kind of expected. Yeah. And you guys kind of stuck with it, ended up getting another, fairly easy win scoreboard-wise, but it seemed like a tougher game than that.
Well, really, really good battle. And with Mark coming into the conference, and I know me and Mark have known each other for quite a while, but he was up in Lincoln Way Central, and they ran what you see tonight, the Navy option that, people that follow football, the Army, Navy, and stuff. And it's different. And you try to replicate it in practice, and it takes a lot of time to do that. You be honest, you really don't. And so it's an adjustment, always, right from the beginning of the game. Where's the quarterback going to be exactly? And, we started over pursuing a little bit. They started motioning their back and then coming back, which Mark saw what we were doing and got us on a couple plays. But it's, for us, for the first time of us playing it, I thought we did okay with it. But there'll be things there that we can look at, and if we face an option team down the line, we'll be able to learn from that. And then, offensively, boy, we had a little bit of everything tonight. Every time I turned around, we were in a new formation, and that's a little new for us. Mm-hmm. So, I thought Mace played good. You probably forced the issue on a few times,
Right.
but there's only one way to learn, and that's to go through the fire. Right now, with our passing attack and with our little shotgun thing, we're going through the fire right now. We're really figuring out what's going to work and what's not, and hopefully, I think it was a really good night for us. I know we had some mistakes, and I get that, but we got some talent out there, and we can use it. As you can see tonight, we're really stretching the field, and I think we can get better at what we're doing. So overall, I think it was a real positive night for us.
Yeah, it seemed like for us, the second half kind of sputtered along a little bit in the third quarter. It was nice to see the fourth quarter get that solid drive to kind of end the game and get some positive momentum going as you head into next week. It just felt like it ended right after that.
I agree with you. And I think we're as long as we can take it to you, and like we displayed there the last series, I think we have to make sure we maintain that and not get too far away from what we do. But Barry does a great job with that, Barry Murphy and the guys, and we're just looking for a few different things tonight, and you get the ball in Zalomi's hand, good things going to happen with Hawkins, McWilliams, Hawk at fullback, and Ty Breimer shows here and there that too. He came in and did a really good job for us at the linebacker spot tonight. I thought Ty played really well, so real happy with that. But you're right, it was great to end the game like we did.
I thought we were watching Sunday Night Football for a while with there's flags all over the place tonight. How hard is it to keep anything going when there's so many stoppages in play?
Yeah, it was a lot, and most of them are legit, but I voiced my opinion, and we'll leave it at that. But overall, I thought it was okay. We had a couple that we had them 4th and 5, and we get a unsportsmanlike. We can't have those things, and we're jumping off sides sometimes. And, it's a concentration thing, and that's what we got to do a better job of. But something we'll work on this week.
You want to talk about polar opposites? You got Reed Custer tonight and the option attack.
Right.
Westmont and Lyle tonight, 62-42 Westmont. They're throwing the ball all over the place. All of a sudden, nobody can play defense, it doesn't seem like. So you go from one extreme to the other.
And we're going up there. So, the game, there's only one game next week for all of our fans. They don't have a sophomore team. And so we'll travel up there. It's a 7 o'clock game. But, look out. It is it's a great challenge for us defensively. We hopefully get some of our DBs back that have been out. But no, when you play Otto and the Westmont Sentinels, whatever you expect, it'll be totally different. And so you just hang on and see what you got. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on the win tonight. Going 4-0, more importantly 2-0 in conference play, and a chance to go on the road and get another one next week.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks a lot.
All right, Coach Jeff Franks joining us here on the postgame show, brought to you by ACN Representative Pete Treby. Hey, a couple of quick scoring updates. If we've got I-8 scores, I know we were trying to keep people up to date on those scores. Before we go off the air here, we'll give you our final scores that we know of. Coal City defeated Plano tonight 22-13. That was a weird game. It was 13-0 the entire game. Coal City scores with 5 minutes left to make it 13-7, and then all of a sudden they win 22-13, I think was the final of that game. Herscher defeats Seneca tonight 47-7. So Herscher goes to Seneca and rolls in that game. Mantino a 32-23 lead on Streeter. That game still has 8 minutes to go in the fourth, so Mantino up by 9 on Streeter. And I think Piatone was having no problems with Sandwich tonight as they had put up, I want to say 27-0 there. And then, of course, the Westmont scores 62-42 over Lyle. That's all of the I-8 scores that we know of from what's going on tonight. Next week we'll be on the road at Westmont. You heard Coach Rinks just say, 7 o'clock game time, varsity only. We will be on the air at 6:40. It'll be a much earlier time next week. 6:40. We'll start Wilmington Wildcats Weekly next week, 7 o'clock kickoff. So much earlier. We'll try to get some stuff out there on Facebook. We'll have it on the site real early so everybody can kind of catch up on what's going on next week. But tonight, a win, and the Cats go to 4-0.
Yeah, it was a good win tonight. I thought I was a little concerned coming in against that triple option and wondered how Wilmington would adapt to, because we never see that. And as the time went along, they made a few changes, and they did very well. Then they put together drives in Newton. I was really glad to see that last drive right before the end of the game to kind of get their feet back on the ground again.
All right, that wraps things up tonight from Becker Field. The Cats win it 34-7 to move to 4-0. We'll see you next week from Westmont. Thanks for joining us. You've been listening to Wilmington Wildcats football on the Christian Internet Sports Network.